Hello, everyone, and welcome to Venture Pilipinas, the Startup Venture Fund Pitch. My name is John Aguilar. I'm the creator and host of the business reality show, The Final Pitch on CNN Philippines, and I will be your host for today. Today's event will serve as the launch of the Startup Venture Fund of the Department of Department of Trade and Industry and National Development Company. Venture Pilipinas is also a pitch event that will feature startups covering different industries and investment stages. And before anything else, I would like to introduce Maria Lourdes Ditas Rebueno, General Manager of the National Development Company. GM Maria Lourdes Rebueno has spent 34 years of her 42-year exemplary career with the NDC. She possesses professional experience in corporate finance, strategic planning, investments, privatization, public-private partnerships, and was responsible for the turnaround of NDC's financial performance. She raised funds for NDC through privatization and bond issuances, and likewise promoted investments in developmental projects. NDC's current focus is on projects addressing health concerns and technology innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm virtual round of applause for GM Rebueno.
Thank you very much for that introduction, John. Secretary Ramon Lopez, Undersecretaries Fita Aldaba, Rowena Guevara, and Manny Caintic, our startup ecosystem, and our distinguished guests. A pleasant afternoon to all of you. To end this Startup Week, we are now launching the Startup Venture Fund. One of the programs, as you know, is SVF under the DTI and the National Development Company, the investment arm of the government. You know that NDC in the past has really ventured in the VCCs with the creation of 17 venture capital corporations. Unfortunately, most of them have been dissolved because these were really ahead of our times. However, now we are launching this SPF, and we are happy to announce that NDC will be providing 250 million for 2021 and another 250 million for 2022 to start up our Startup Venture Fund. And we hope that this will be a recurring effort on the part of government. And so I'd like to thank everyone for helping us through the guidelines formulation and also for the leadership of Secretary Lopez. Maraming salamat and mabuhay po tayong lahat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, GM Ditas. Up next for his keynote message, I would like to introduce Secretary Ramon Lopez of the DTI. Ramon M. Lopez is the Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry. His extensive government experience with the Presidential Management Staff, DTI, and the National Economic Development Authority in the early part of his career, followed by over 2 decades of extensive positions in a private corporation, provided him with a solid background on macroeconomy and industry and business development that allowed him to adopt a more holistic perspective on trade and industry development. He's also a strong advocate for free entrepreneurship education for 12 years, until he was called to serve the country again under President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's administration as the DTI Secretary. He has received several awards, such as the 2016 National Builders Award for Government Service and the Philippine Innovation Man of the Year Award in 2017. In 2018, he received from President Duterte the Order of Sikatuna with a rank of Datu, one of the senior honors one can receive in the Philippines. Just recently, he was also named by People Asia as one of the 2020 People of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Secretary Mon Lopez.
I would like to acknowledge NDC GM Ditas Rebueno, DOST USEC Rowena Guevara, DICT USEC Manny Caintic, DTI USEC Fita Aldaba, our partners from the private sector, Mr. Butch Mailey of the QBO Innovation Hub and Idea Space Foundation President, distinguished guests to our startup community, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to be here at the Venture Pilipinas Startup Venture Fund Pitch, Pursuant to the Innovative Startup Act, our attached agency, the National Development Company, has allocated 250 million pesos, or an equivalent of about 5 million US dollars, venture fund for Philippine-based tech startups. This fund would support startup expansion, plant and facility establishment or improvement, product development, sales, and marketing. Today, we will witness the launch of the Startup Venture Fund along with Venture Pilipinas, the Startup Venture Fund pitch this afternoon. This event is a milestone in our startup ecosystem journey, so allow me to take this opportunity to thank NDC-GM Ditas Rebueno and the CIG team headed by Undersecretary Fita Aldaba for working hard on the SVF guidelines. Let me also extend the DTI's gratitude to the QBO team through the leadership of Mr. Butch Mailey and Katrina Chan for all the effort and hard work in making this activity possible. The 2020 Philippine Startup Survey revealed that the financial impact and effects on operations, potential global recession, and difficulties with funding remain the top 3 major concerns of startup founders with respect to the pandemic. The report says that more than 50% of startup founders say they need up to 5 million pesos in additional funding to help normalize their operations, with plans of securing this either through equity financing or bank financing. However, banks in the Philippines still ask for traditional banking requirements such as hard securities. With that said, the launching of the Startup Venture Fund is timely and relevant. Venture capital investment is proven to be effective in promoting innovation and job growth and generating productivity gains, especially for SMEs and young startups. In implementing the Startup Venture Fund, the government plays a key role in terms of policymaking, regulations, and establishing an enabling environment for startups. Our country's Startup Venture Fund will be implemented together with key players from the private sector. This is because evidence shows that partially government-owned venture capitals can boost startup success. However, solely government-owned venture capitals do not. Another study by an American nonprofit research organization, the National Bureau of Economic Research, shows that moderate amounts of funds from government-sponsored venture capital funds can improve the performance of entrepreneurial ventures relative to ventures supported purely by private venture capitalists. VC-backed firms perform better if the amount invested by the public sector is smaller and under the control of a private fund manager than if the amounts are larger. This reinforces the argument that the size of the public intervention must be appropriate, large enough that it makes a difference, but not so large that it affects the alignment of incentives and objectives, leading to relative underperformance of VC-backed firms. In closing, the DTI will be working closely with the private sector to efficiently and effectively implement the Startup Venture Fund, because this would help qualified startups for capital requirements, technology improvements, and salaries of potential new employees, among others. This commitment is in line with President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's confidence in our innovative industries when he emphasized in a recent speech that innovation is our big push, and added that this will keep our country on the growth path for decades to come. Lastly, I would like to congratulate in advance all the startups that have made it through this part of the pitching competition. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Maraming salamat, Secretary Mon Lopez. Up next, to launch the Startup Venture Fund, we have Yusek Rowena Guevara of the DOST. Dr. Rowena Cristina Guevara is the Undersecretary for Research and Development of the Department of Science and Technology. Dr. Guevara is seconded from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, where she is Professor 12. She oversees the management of the DOST R&D funds, bilateral and multilateral linkages, technology transfer, and leads the DOST Science for Change, or S4C program. She is a recipient of awards in engineering, education, and government service. Yusek Guevara?
Thank you very much. DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez, DTI Undersecretary Fita Aldaba, DTI Undersecretary Manny Caintic, NDC General Manager Maria Lourdes Rebuena, our friends here from the technology business incubators and startups, our friends in media, ladies and gentlemen, magandang agham po sa ating lahat. The Department of Science and Technology is a historical believer in startups. In 2015, DOST invested $1 million to Orthopedics International for the Axis Knee Total Knee Replacement System. We asked them to give 50% discount when the knee implant is sold in the Philippines. Based on the 50% discount and the over 700 knees replaced by Axis Knee in the Philippines, we have already recovered our investment. In 2018, we supported 15 startups with vast potential of creating great impact in the startup landscape. With a total grant of only 66 million, those 15 startups were enabled to collectively acquire 604 clients, generate 148.5 million in revenues, raise 51.5 million investment, and create 284 jobs. Among the notable startups of the pioneering batch are Fame, who designed and developed the specimen collection booths of DOST that were given to the Department of Health. We also have Senti, an AI-based startup company, and edutech startups, well as Co-Systems and EduSuit, who are gaining a lot of traction during this pandemic, when schools transitioned into digital learning. Today, these startups are still operating, gaining market traction, and generating revenues. The DOST continues to strengthen and intensify its programs for startups and startup enablers by providing Startup Grant Fund under the Innovative Startup Act to provide initial and supplemental assistance through our Grants in Aid program. We also have technology business incubators, 48 of them all over the country. We have venture financing program, among other programs supporting startups. Our research and development institutes and the niche centers in the regions for R&D or NICERs are open for startups who would need testing analysis or additional research with our state-of-the-art facilities and laboratories. With the support given by DOST, we believe that they will soon be ripe for the Startup Venture Fund program. We believe that the SVF is the next funding opportunity for the graduates of the DOST Startup Grant Fund. After they have overcome their R&D roadblocks through the SGF, their next challenge is market expansion and scale up. And the SVF is the perfect program for these startups who are ready for bigger investments. This year, we have approved a total of 25 new startups under the Startup Grant Fund, and we are happy that there is a bigger investment opportunity that awaits them after their completion of their research and development projects with us. I would like to congratulate the National Development Company and the Department of Trade and Industry for this milestone, and we express our full support to the Startup Venture Fund program and the SVF's Choice Award, the startup with the highest potential for investment. We're looking forward to the success of the SVF. Maraming salamat, mabuhay po tayong lahat, at muli, magandang agham sa ating lahat.
Marami pong salamat, Yusek Gev. Up next, we have Yusek Emmanuel Caintic of the DICT. Mr. Emmanuel Ray Manny Caintic is currently the Undersecretary for Digital Philippines. He is a multifaceted information technology leader with more than 2 decades of experience in digital transformation, enterprise architecture, and systems implementation in various ventures. Mr. Caintic also served as the Assistant Secretary for Digital Philippines, wherein he reinforced priority programs on connectivity and Converge. Mr. Caintic was also a member of the Interagency Task Force on the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases and chaired the Sub-Technical Working Group on ICT Solutions, leading the whole of government COVID-19 response and recovery efforts through the use of ICT. Yusek Manny?
DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez, Yusek Rafaelita Aldaba, Yusek Rowena Guevara, Miss Maria Lourdes Ribueno, friends, ladies, and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon to all of us. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Department of Trade and Industry, the National Development Company, Department of Science and Technology, QBO Innovation Hub, my colleagues from the DICT, and other private partner agencies for initiating the Philippine Startup Week 2021, and as well as the launch of this Startup Venture Fund. As one of the lead agencies tasked to strengthen, promote, and develop the startup ecosystem in the country, we are one with you all in your objective to build a strong Filipino startup community. This Startup Venture Fund is instrumental in achieving this goal as it serves as a platform for innovative startups to launch their businesses. Your government fully supports this initiative, which will not only spur growth in the Philippine startup ecosystem, but will also promote venture capital investing in the country. To all the startups who will be doing their pitches today, I wish you all the best. We look forward to hearing your innovative ideas, which would no doubt be of great value to our country. Thank you and good luck, everyone.
Thank you very much, Yusek Manny. Up next, we have Yusek Rafaelita Aldaba of the DTI. Dr. Rafaelita Fita Aldaba is Undersecretary for Competitiveness and Innovation of the Department of Trade and Industry. She is leading DTI's initiatives in preparing industries for the fourth industrial revolution and advancing the digital transformation of MSMEs and large enterprises, establishing regional inclusive innovation centers, developing the country's creative industries, and growing a robust startup ecosystem in the country. Undersecretary Aldaba is also a member of the Board of Governors of the Philippine Board of Investments. Secretary Fita, welcome. Yusek Fita.
Thank you, John, especially for that kind of introduction. Yusek Guevara, Yusek Manny Kaintik, GM Ditas Rebueno, Asek Nap Juanillo, Mr. Butch Mailey, Ms. Katrina Chan, and the QBO team, our partners from the private sector, Mr. Miguel Encarnacion of the ICCP, Mr. Abe Lazada from Lunch Garage, Mr. Jacob Kwe from Foxmont, and Mr. Jason Gaisano from Gobicor. To the founders, investors, government colleagues, members of the startup and innovation community, and curious others, good afternoon and welcome to the launch of the long-awaited Philippine Startup Venture Fund and the Startup Venture Fund pitch event that will showcase some of our brightest and most promising startups. Many of us are happy and excited that finally the government will be able to address the funding needs of startups through the implementation of the Startup Venture Fund. We have been working on this for over a year now, and I am really grateful and thankful to Secretary Lopez, to GM Ditas Rebueno and the NDC and our team, the Innovation and Collaboration Division, for making this happen. Our mission is to support founders, inspire innovation, and cultivate the culture of promoting and nurturing innovative and promising startups. Through the Startup Venture Fund, we plan to invest in innovative companies and provide infrastructure services to bolster growth and accelerate disruption. The fund also aims to empower early stage and growth startups to drive innovation and strengthen our economic recovery and long-term growth. Apart from capital infusion, we are also providing advisory and networking opportunities to the most promising startups. To kick off the SBF, we are having a pitching competition with 10 innovative startups who will be presenting their solutions to address real-world problems that we are currently facing. As we celebrate these 10 path-breaking startups, we also congratulate all the founders who participated in the selection process. Today's pitch event is only the beginning, and with the launching of our Startup Venture Fund, we will have many more pitching opportunities and demo days in the coming months. Allow me also to thank QBO Innovation Hub for their relentless support, as well as our partners, ICCP, Launch Garage, Gobicor, and Foxmont. We are confident that with proper support and encouragement for the talent and innovation in the country, startups will be the vehicle of growth and expansion of industries. DTI, NDC, DOST, and DICT, we all believe that we have a collective responsibility to grow the economy with cutting edge and new age solutions to address the pain points in society, as well as the evolving needs and changing demands of consumers. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon.
Maraming salamat, Yusek Fita. I remember it was pre-pandemic. We had coffee one time, and you were telling me about this. I'm glad that it's finally here. It took a while, but at least now we get to say that we actually have a startup venture fund now funded by the government. So let's get on with it. So thank you very much, Yusek Fita, Yusek Gev, Yusek Manny, for joining us today. And now I will be talking about the Startup Venture Fund. So Venture Pilipinas will feature 10 startups that will vie for mentorship opportunities from the potential SVF partners. There will be a People's Choice Award that will be announced later on. And of course, the SVF Choice Award, wherein the lucky winner will win or bring home 100,000 peso prize money for the SVF Choice Award. And now I would like to give you a brief on the eligibility and selection process. So startups participating in the top 100 startup showcase are automatically qualified to join Venture Pilipinas, the Startup Venture Fund pitch. A select panel of judges of DTI, CIG, and QBO Innovation Hub will choose 10 startups from the top 100 startups who will qualify and participate in the pitch event. So the startup should be raising at least pre-seed investments, tech-enabled with nation-building component, and have at least one Filipino co-founder. The selection criteria are as follows: problem-solution fit, traction, market opportunity, team, and scalability. And the mechanics of the pitch proper are as follows. So we have pre-recorded pitches of the startups, and they will be played at the end of all the pitches. And there will be they will be played. And at the end of the pitches, there will be a 5-minute Q&A, and 3 minutes will be given for the panel to offer mentorship and for the startups to accept their offers. And please take note that each panel member will only be able to pick 2 startup mentors. So very, very important. And also each startup can only accept a maximum of 2 mentorship offers. So tit for tat, and panel members can also include other incentives to convince the startups to choose them over the other panelists. So today is going to be a fun exercise in making offers, making your best pitch, and evaluating the best fit for you, both from the side of the startup and the investor side. So without further ado, I'd like to now introduce our panel. So our first panelist is Miguel Andre Encarnacion, Managing Director at ICCP SBI Venture Partners. So Miguel is Managing Director of ICCP SBI Venture Partners. He has over 15 years of experience in fund management, venture capital, financial advisory, and corporate banking. As an investor and venture builder, he has completed over 60 deals and co-founded 8 companies. He is a member of the board of directors of the Asia Berlin Forum and a mentor for the Berlin Founders Fund and the Impact Empowering Entrepreneurship Initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, Miguel Encarnacion. Miguel.
Hi, John. Thank you.
Welcome to the panel. Miguel, your resume is sterling. It is very intimidating if I were a co-panelist. I think if you're going to try to convince a startup to be your mentor, I think that person would easily say yes. I'm just thinking, with all of your experience both abroad and here, what exactly are you looking for in terms of the startup that you will mentor?
I'm looking for a startup that has very very big aspirations, right? So obviously they have to be solving a problem that is a Filipino problem, but beyond that, if they're solving something that is also a problem, across the region or at other emerging markets, that would be fantastic. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here today.
Okay, great to have you, Miguel. Moving on, we have Abe Lozada, General Manager of Launch Garage. So Abe is the General Manager of Garage. They are a premier startup accelerator here in the Philippines. He's also the Ventures Manager of Plug and Play Tech Center, the largest open corporate innovation platform and one of the most active early stage investors globally. Hello. Abe,
glad to be here, John.
It's great to have you with a pedigree of the plug and play. Very specifically, you are known to invest in really high impact entrepreneur startups from across the world. What is it that you're looking for? I know that mentorship comes naturally to you, and it is something that startups are looking for specifically for Launch Garage, since Launch Garage has mainly been responsible for a lot of successful mentorship and even some funds that were deployed through the help of Launch Garage. So talk us through your process of how you will be evaluating these startups, Abe.
I guess on my side, especially on the global perspective, we've been looking at thousands and thousands of deals every year. And being one of the key players here in the Philippines through Launch Garage, I've always been very excited on how Filipino founders could possibly compete in that global stage. The way I see it is that we're honestly just looking for the next possible unicorn and hoping that it'll be a Filipino this time around.
Okay, so pretty low bar to set, no? You're just looking for the next Filipino unicorn. So let's see. They might be one of the 10 who will pitch to you today. So thanks a lot, Abe. We'll see you later. So up next, we have Jacob. He's a graduate of HKUSC Business School, graduating with a double major in economics and information systems and a minor in social science in 2020. After graduating, he joined Foxmont as a member of Foxmont's summer apprenticeship program in early 2021 before joining full-time as an analyst of the investments team. So Jacob, welcome.
Hi, nice.
So Jacob, I know that you guys over at Foxmont have been very active as of late, investing in a lot of Philippine tech startups. I'd like to know, what is your investment thesis, and will that be relevant to the 10 you feel that will be pitching today?
Oh yeah, definitely, John. So Foxmont always likes to invest in Filipino-focused ventures. So any kind of startup that's trying to solve a really important problem here in the Philippines, we'd go for it.
Definitely. I think Franco has given you the go signal to write some checks today, if I'm not mistaken.
That was the consensus earlier.
Looking forward to that, man. All right. So up next, we have Jason Gaisano, the partner over at GoBeCore Philippine Fund. So we have here Jason Gaisano. As I said, he's the co-founder and country partner of the GoBeCore Philippines Fund. He handles the due diligence process and investment committee proposals for the fund. And outside the VC space, he handles the business development arm of Taft Properties, a real estate development company under the Vixal Holdings umbrella of his family. He also handles the recurring income business of Vixal. And prior to working for the family business, he worked as an associate for a boutique private equity firm in New York, focusing on deals related to health tech, biotech, asset management, and fintech. Hello, Jason.
Hi, John. Good afternoon.
So, Jason, you guys have been very active in the Philippine startup scene as well. A lot of deals have gone down with you and your partner, Carlos. So, we've been following what you've been doing, and hopefully there is something that will happen from the 10 that you will hear pitch to you today, are you actually prepared to make an offer, or is mentorship the only thing that's on the table today?
Well, it's always on the table for us to look out for the next breakout startup. And excitingly enough, this year actually we've seen a huge I would say improvement or even level of startups that could compete in the region. So that's my goal, to see startups that could actually compete against the startups we see around the whole Southeast Asia region. And I believe the Philippines is ready.
Definitely, we are ready, and the 10 are ready to pitch to you. So they have a lot to offer. I can tell you that. I'm sure you've done your due diligence prior. So I can't wait to hear you guys not tear apart, but kind of see if there is a good fit or if there is someone there who is ready to go regional. So with that, thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
So up next, active startup enablers in the country, accelerating the growth of a combined network of over 500 Filipino startup ventures across stages and industries through various programs, working with over 150 local and international partners. She is a Filipina millennial that advocates for spurring innovation and technopreneurship as an engine for driving economic growth and competitiveness for the Philippines. Hello, Kat.
Hello, and again, welcome to everyone that's watching today. So,
It's been
like
a tough
my
week. It's been a
other,
great week. Yeah, Kat?
yeah, it's been a fantastic startup week. So just like my fellow judges today, like we do also invest in startups, but I do want to point out, not to trash talk anyone, that it's only our logo that's like in the screen right now. So, you know,
Okay.
like there's a
Okay.
fantastic advantage for you to join us and, you know, accept our offers and mentorship today. So friendly competition among the judges, may the best offer win, and may the best deals for the startups come to fruition. But I'm rooting for the Filipino startup ecosystem, and I'm really happy to be part of the Startup Venture Pilipinas program here today. So yeah.
You know, the knees of your co-panelists are now shaking. I can sense it. I can't see it, but I can sense it. If Kat wants to make an offer to be the mentor, then forget it. So, Kat, I am looking forward to the trash talk that will be happening later on. And I'll put you on hold first before I welcome back our next panelist. And our next panelist is none other than GM Ditas Rebueno, General Manager of the National Development Company. Welcome back, GM Ditas.
Thank you so much. And I'm happy to be one of the judges, and I'm sure that we will have a lot of, competition among even the judges. And for NDC, we'll be happy to look at each of these 10 startup finalists so that we will know which will be the one to get the choice award. Thanks so much, John.
Thank you very much. GM Ditas, if you could just turn on your, there you go. There, we can see your lovely dress as well, very elegant. Thank you for gracing us today. This is going to be a very exciting pitching competition. I guarantee that. So I hope as well that if someone makes an offer eventually, and this is the goal, you will be able to match these offers that will be made by our panelists. So I'm looking forward to that, GM Ditas.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so let's welcome back everyone, all the panelists here today. So, okay, but before that, I would like to now talk about the People's Choice Award, the mechanics and how it affects the order of pitches today. So QBO Innovation Hub's marketing and communications team released Facebook posts featuring the 10 startups who were and these were all posted on all QBO socials. So the top 3 startups with the highest number of votes received the following incentive. So the top one receives 6 months E27 membership plus first pick of presentation time slot for the pitch today. So the top 2 also gets the 6 months E27 membership plus the second pick of presentation time slot today. And the third gets as well a 6 months E27 membership and the third pick of the presentation time slot. So after that, the time slots that were not chosen were randomly assigned to the remaining startups. So this is very important because obviously if you pitch first, you get first dibs on the offers of the mentors as well as they will be able to offer to mentor you. So very, very important advantage. And the panelists, as I mentioned earlier, can only mentor 2 startups at maximum. Once a panelist already has 2 mentees, they are barred from offering to other startups. Hence, the presentation time slot plays a part in a startup success in this event. So I think this has been known previously, but I would like to now announce the top 1, 2, and 3. So the top 1 is none other than Tangere, followed by Cerebro LMS, and finally OMG or Oh My Genie. So congratulations to these 3. Tangere, I know, has a very strong social media following, so it is no wonder that they were able to get the top spot. And Cerebro LMS and Oh My Genie, congratulations to that as well. So without further ado, I would like to now introduce the first pitcher. So Tangere is a non-traditional market research company that believes in building a better normal through data-driven decision-making by providing reliable, timely, and cost-effective actionable insights. It leverages mobile application technology, social media engagement, and big data analytics to help businesses and organizations make data-driven business decisions. For our first pitch, I would like to introduce Angela Gloria, account manager at Tangere. Angela, the stage is yours.
To start my presentation, let me quote a line from the magazine I've read before, and I quote, "We are living in an era of rapid change. Nothing is permanent. Trends change overnight, and there's a constant surge of newer ideas as well as creative influences that social media has given everyone a voice." Having said that, my question is, now more than ever, are some voices just plain noise? Or does our voices really have that limitless power on certain things? Hello everyone, my name is Angela Gloria, account manager from Tangere Survey with Prices, the largest online market research panel in the Philippines. We all know that traditional market research can be costly, while the low number of respondents may not always be a good representation of public sentiment, and scaling their respondent size would also bloat their cost of engagement. While the usual turnaround time of 5 to 6 weeks makes the data relatively stale, especially in these uncertain times when speed and reliability is in the name of the game, because of the much fast-pacing changes brought by the pandemic. In Tangere, we provide timely, reliable, actionable insights. We can provide 5 times more respondents in just 5 days or less, instead 5 weeks or more. The respondents come from our nationwide panel of beyond 500,000 members, making real-time market research possible through the Tangere mobile app with data analytics powered by Tableau software. As of end of 2021, the Tangere community has grown beyond 500,000 active respondents representing Philippine demographics, making it the largest online market research panel in the country. Aside from the incentives for their active participation in our surveys, the community members are able to share insights through a safe and risk-free platform where their voices are heard. Part of our growing list of customers are some of the top local FMCGs and a handful of multinational brands by providing both quantitative and qualitative studies ranging from $2,000 per survey and up to about $20,000 for subscription services. We have also engaged with the public sector for real-time and public sentiment surveys, and that Tanghere's service result is also accepted by the Ad Standard Council, which makes us more reliable and credible than ever. Before I continue, let's watch this testimonial video by one of our valued customer and partner, Ding Dong App.
Hello everyone. I hope that you and your loved ones are safe and healthy. Let me also take this opportunity to thank Tanghere and Martin for inviting Ding Dong PH to your Client Appreciation Night. And syempre, for our partnership on market research and survey. It is always an honor to be working with fellow startups who share with us our common goal of empowering Filipino communities and businesses. Kaya please enjoy the evening and the treats from the merchants of our Ding Dong Marketplace.
Having said that, to continue, market research is a billion peso industry that the country currently dominated by the traditional agencies such as Kantar and Nielsen, which only deep-pocketed companies can afford. Tanghere's mission is to break accessibility barriers to real-time market research and to empower thousands of enterprises in the FMCG, F&B, and other industries with timely data-driven decision-making by 2023. Also, with the 2022 national elections just around the poll, our goal is to be the go-to poll research provider in this $500 million market research by election season. In addition to that, as our active user community grows despite the pandemic, the more detailed the demographics of our users have become, allowing us to handle even more complex requirements from our growing clientele. Tangere is led by professionals with more than 150 combined years of experience from the fields of business solutions, data analytics, SaaS, political consultancy, statistics, and market research, of course. The CEO of Tangere is one of the most decorated IT professionals in the industry with decades of experience, well guided by some of the country's top think tanks, such as FMCG magnate Mr. William Chulim and the founder of a Silicon Valley-based tech accelerator Plug and Play, Mr. Jojo Flores. Tangere was the grand winner of CNN Philippines, the final pitch as well, a startup competition where we were awarded $200K US dollars in funding. Our service has also been featured by mainstream media and served as guide for policymakers even during the pandemic. We were also named as Startup of the Years by the Philippine Chamber of Commerce by Asia Leaders Award for 2019 and Asian Startup Awards, where we handpicked by DTI as a Philippine delegate. And lastly, we were acknowledged by Ginebra Ako Awards as a Filipino Ako awardee. Looking ahead, as part of our plans for growth, we're currently raising 2M US dollars or 100 million pesos through convertible notes offered at 20% discount with an interest of 5% per annum payable in 2 years. This amount will be used to meet our targets to reach 1 million active users this year and to implement more developments by the start of year 2022. Thank you so much for listening into my presentation. Again, this is Tangere, where the voice of Filipino counts.
Boss Martin is what we call him over at the final pitch. He's a very good marketing guy, brands himself well. So Martin, I'd like to open up our panel for questions for you. So anyone can fire the first question from the panel.
Hi, Sir John.
Hey, Martin. Miguel here. I just want to ask,
Yeah.
how reliable is this data? Don't you have a lot of trolls there also, just answering randomly? How do you make sure that the integrity of the data is protected?
There's a quite small delay lang. But that's a great question, Miguel. Thank you for that question. To answer that question, it was shown earlier that our surveys are accredited by one of the most traditional institutions here in the Philippines, the Ad Standards Council, and we are also part of the MORES. With that, we have guidelines in place, such as algorithms, for example, to weed out what you call trolls. And for example, we do random sampling of our respondents to see that the data they provide in the app are accurate. So we have 1,000 winners weekly, so that's where we do random sampling. So they need to provide resources such as valid IDs before they can claim their prizes. And aside from that, we have done almost 100 qualitative studies online called focus group discussions through Zoom. So the respondents there also comes from our community, from our 500,000 database. So that's where we also do our detailed screening to make sure that the respondents that we have are valid naman.
How do you think about the technology stack that you are building and how scalable it is as you grow? Because I mean, you're doing a big part of your FGDs on Zoom, and that's not proprietary technology, right? So like, how are you thinking about building your own? So that this is really something that is just Tangheres.
That's another great question, Miguel. So for we offer both quantitative and qualitative surveys. For quantitative surveys, our tech stack there will be cloud hosting, and we are using one of the leading data analytics tool in the world, which is Tableau Analytics. So it's integrated there. That's how we provide results in real time to our clients and partners. For qualitative data studies that we do, right now we're using Zoom. But we are looking at building our own platform for qualitative studies by Q1 of 2022. So that's where the planned usage of the investment round that we're raising comes in.
Hi, Martin. Tell me about two things. Like, first, like, how are you capitalizing on, I suppose, the political environment now? Because I think elections are probably one of the biggest things when it comes to getting the pulse of the people, no? And how is Tanghere increasing transparency when it comes to that regard? And second, I did hear your pitch last year at last year's Philippine Startup Week for SeedStars. So how's your traction improved or changed? Wow me, right? Like, what has changed since last year?
That's a great question, Miss Kat. So to answer your first question in terms of the election season, we are currently partnered with one of the leading news and media outlet in the Philippines, Manila Bulletin. So all of our surveys will be released there starting next week. So I'm here to say that those surveys are non-commissioned. It's not, no one paid it, unlike the mga, well, I'm not saying the mga traditional poll research companies are paid, but it's non-commissioned, so it's non-biased. So for example, we just released our Senate survey after conducting it in 2 days. That's one of the biggest advantages that we have. For example, I'm not here to kid that election really is a great market for us. It's a great opportunity for us to help, especially those politicians, these are people who previously can't afford market research and poll research. That's how we started Tangher in the first place. We wanted to build a platform na Filipino entrepreneur friendly. So going back there, we just finished survey in Bacolod City, conducted it in 1 working day. So we were able to give insights that fast to our client and partner there. So to answer your second question naman, Ms. Kat, so we have increased our clientele since last year. So the reference clients there, when I presented, 10 lang po yan. Now we have increased our reference clients to almost 50. Hindi na po kasya sa isang slide, but we just summarize it. We're working with some of the leading brands in the Philippines, such as, after the presentation, such as NutriAsia, RFM Corporation, Lemon Square Corporation. And we are also working now with some of the multinational brands in the Philippines. I just can't name them because they haven't.
Okay, I want to give enough time for the other judges, so I'll cut you off. Pero I do want to say I'm gonna give you my offer for my mentorship and support from QBO. So other judges, fight for it, but my offer stands.
Hi, Martin. Since time is short, so I just wanna ask a couple of things. So how do you incentivize getting more respondents to join? Not those that are already in Tangere, but incentivizing more to use it. How are you doing those?
Thank you for that question, Sir Jason. To answer that one, we have every week we have 20 to 30,000 respondents who are using the app to answer different surveys from our user base. So we can't incentivize everyone. So that's one. So I'm really thankful, Una, for them for supporting us using our app, even though they're not incentivized to do so. So with the increase of our respondents, as shown earlier, we are now able to cater to more diverse requirements, such as, for example, we have a client that previously we can't do a survey in a province in Eastern Visayas for moms with children aged to 8 to 12 years old, for example. Now, given the increase in the respondents, we are now able to cater to those surveys, and in proportion to it, we can now provide more, because 20% of our cost of service goes to the community members that we have, 20 to 25%. So that increases the number of prizes that we give out weekly. So I hope I was able to answer your question, Sir Jason.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Thank you, Martin.
Welcome, sir.
Anyone else?
If there's no more questions, I just have to offer my mentorship as well before anybody else jumps in.
There we go. Thank you.
There you go. So we have 2 mentorship offers, one from Kat, one from Miguel. Any other offers from the panel?
I'm not sure I can compete with Miguel, but I want to hear more about the business. So I'd probably reach out to Martin also to know more about the business. It's very
Martin, I
interesting.
believe in you. I've been rooting for you since last year, pa. Like with our Microsoft program, even stuff hasn't worked out, but I am here to extend our investment and mentorship to you on behalf of QBO. So please take our offer.
Maybe Martin, it's time to start talking to other people. It feels like you've talked to Kat enough already, right?
You're going there.
I heard investment. I heard investment there. So it's not just mentorship, correct?
Yes.
Always.
So for you to secure it, I think you have to write a check right here and now.
I'm willing to put our money where our mouth behind our talk.
So
but
I have my
money,
entire
but the
board of
100+
directors behind
programs
me.
you offer per year. So
we're ready as well. Our entire board is right here behind me. Don't see them, but they're ready to give the yes or no.
Okay.
Actually, I'm willing to work with Enka naman. No? So if you're willing to work with us, I think we can bring Tang here to a higher place. So
there you go. So any other offers, any other questions or offers from the rest of the panel?
I'd like to go ahead and give an offer as well.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, Martin, this is going to be the first time that somebody from Foxmont will be speaking to you. But I'm just going to say that, Foxmont has a proven track record of working with entrepreneurs. We are a company of former entrepreneurs, and we'd really like to help you scale up your business. And it's in both of our interests to see Tangere grow as a company. We'd very much want to back you all the way to becoming a unicorn.
Thank you, Jacob. That's nakakataba ng puso. And well, that's in Tagalog. What's that in English, John?
Makes my heart sad.
Well, I guess on my side,
so Jacob, just to verify, you're also extending a mentorship offer to Tangere as well.
Yes, I would.
Okay. All right. So we have 3 solid offers, 2 offers for mentorship and 1 offer for mentorship and funding. So any other offers from the rest of the panel?
Well, I guess, Martin, you could spend time with the rest of the guys. I think we go a long way, and I think it might be a good opportunity to talk to the other guys first.
I just want to say we're willing to work with anyone, bayanihan, guys. Like, so Martin, like, take me. But I'm also willing to work with either two if they're willing to have us on your cap table.
There you go. If we had suspense music, I would plug it right here. But since this is Zoom and we can't do that, I'm going to have to ask one final time, any other last offers from the panel? If not, Martin. Boss Martin.
Yeah, Sir John, this
Yeah.
is like the last episode of the final pitch.
Yes, we want it that way, but this is different. This is the government and the private sector, so definitely a lot can happen here. People have been waiting for this. Martin, you are in a position of now possibly saying yes to not just mentorship but funding. So you have 3 offers now, and I'd like to know, what is your decision? Who are you going to pick? We're only giving you 2 slots.
I can select 2.
Sorry, 3. 3. You can pick 2. There are 3 offers. You can only pick 2. So we have Miguel, we have Jacob, and we have Kat.
All right. So see, for Jacob, I when we were starting out, it was Helmer. Is Helmer still with the company?
No.
Oh, okay. So it was Helmer who first gave us the opportunity when we were starting out. We did a survey to help his company there to see the carbon dioxide emission if savings if you will be instead of commuting to work you'll just be staying in one of their hotels. It was hotels and apartments. It was published by mainstream media, so that was our first exposure. So I'd like to give back the opportunity and be we're really thankful for that. So we'll be accepting your offer, Jacob.
Wow.
Great to hear, man. Welcome to the
Thank you,
family.
thank you. And now, one more left. Hirap naman ito.
Yes. Who will it be? Will it be Miguel or will it be Kat?
I wish my advisor is here. So, but let me just send him a Viber message. Okay na ba, Sir John?
Hindi. Ginagawa lang natin sa show yan. This is live, so we can't do that. Unfortunately, this is not the final pitch. So you will have to decide right here, right now, who are you going to pick from these two?
Right. So really thankful for the offer of Sir Miguel. During my stint as a consultant for SAP, I was in Europe half of the time. So I really like the culture there. So gusto nga bumalik ng asawa ko sa Europe. But si Miss Kat, as she mentioned earlier, she's been supporting the company since since we started back 2 years ago. So we're going with QBO for this time. And Sir Miguel, thank you. I hope this is not the end.
No, it is the end actually.
Right choice, Martin. Like,
Well, there you have it. Okay, there you have it. So congratulations to both of you, to both parties for, I guess, what will be a fruitful mentorship partnership down the road. I think the ecosystem has grown a lot lately, and from your engagement prior to now, I think even with QBO, it has evolved in terms of even the size of what they are doing now. And I'm sure even the check sizes also have been similarly affected by this. So congratulations, Tangere, you have now secured mentorship and possibly future investment from QBO Idea Space as well as Foxmont through Jacob. So maraming salamat, Boss Martin, for participating in this SVF pitch. So all the best to what will be happening to you in the next couple of weeks and months. I know you have a lot of exciting initiatives. So good luck as always.
Thank you, Sir John. Thank you, Miss Kat, Sir Miguel, and Sir Jacob. Thank you.
I don't know about you, but that was one exciting first pitch we had there. Okay, so moving on. For the second startup who will be pitching today, they are none other than Cerebro LMS. So Cerebro is a ready-to-use learning or e-learning solution aimed at reducing faculty workload and improving the quality of online teaching. Designed by teachers for teachers, Cerebro features curriculum-based digital instructional content for K-12 schools in the Philippines. For our next pitch, I'd like to introduce Justin Itugot, CEO of Cerebro LMS. Let's give him a virtual round of applause.
Hello everyone, I'm Justin and I'm the CEO of Cerebro. We are a group of teachers who aim to innovate teaching by allowing our fellow educators, both young and seniors alike, to jumpstart e-learning amidst the pandemic and make teaching in the new normal an enjoyable passion and not just a stressful job that would give them thoughts about leaving their careers. This is teacher Anna, a grade school faculty member in a medium-sized private school handling 8 online classes with 50 students each. However, these classes are not of the same subject since teachers in the elementary level are usually expected to teach students in several learning areas, which could also be different from their field of specialization. And because of this, Anna needs to do an extensive research about the subjects assigned to her so she could prepare her instructional materials well, while also allocating time for her other administrative duties such as preparing reports, computing grades, and the like. Based on data from the Department of Education, A teacher spends at least 2 hours per day for these tasks, which sums up to around 400 hours of preparation time for the entire school year. And this number has just doubled during the COVID-19 pandemic, since teachers were required to produce a year's worth of digital material so that their schools can get certified for online learning. We could only imagine how stressful it is to be a teacher, and what else could we feel if we realize that this problem also becomes a pain point for school administrators after seeing a great number of private school teachers who resigned from their jobs just last year. And with this, schools are losing billions just to train new hires, so they also cannot ensure if these teachers could withstand the pressure even for just a semester. The Philippine Institute for Development Studies also notes that such heavy workload of teachers has a significant effect on the quality of education, leading us to rank 79th out of the 79 countries who took the program for international student assessment in the year 2018. Then we came to realize that if there is only one K-12 curriculum followed throughout the country, then why can't we have a single set of ready-made contents directly based from DepEd standards and curriculum, all in a managed cloud platform that teachers coming from different schools can easily access to effectively reduce their workload and save time for their personal and social well-being? Our solution comes with ready-made course presentations, auto-graded quizzes, and printable worksheets that teachers can just pull out from our platform to jumpstart their online teaching, and even interactive simulations that provide realistic virtual laboratory experiments that will keep students engaged with learning the fun way. In addition, school administrators can also monitor what's happening in their learning management system and determine the system's usage data and the end user's performance. You might be thinking that there are already other market players out there and that we might be a new name when it comes to e-learning. But our initial set of clients were willing to switch to our solution and even gave us positive feedback that helped us gain early stage traction against the other widely used brands. In the first 20 months of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have continuously strived to develop our competitive edge, and we would like to further expand our reach so more schools will learn about our advantage in terms of curriculum alignment, ease of registration, and value for money. There are over 1.2 million teachers in the Philippines who could benefit from our solution, and among this number, 300,000 are from the private school sector who do not enjoy access to the government's learning resource system. 11,000 teachers are in the province of Cavite, where we have already tested our product, since 76% of the schools here are privately owned. Sadly, there are about 865 private schools who had no choice but to close down during the pandemic just because they were not able to prepare digital materials and meet DepEd's minimum requirements for online learning. And this led to over 4,000 teachers losing their jobs and nearly 60,000 students who were either forced to transfer to other schools or to temporarily stop their education. At present, 13 schools with a combined total of about 8,000 users have subscribed to Cerebro at an institutional level, where 7 schools are from Cavite and another 6 are from other provinces who serve as our test markets for their respective areas in Metro Manila and Central Visayas. And for 2022, we are expecting to add 40 more schools throughout the country after we have received very positive feedback from our early stage adopters. A good 75% of our team is composed of licensed professional teachers, so our solution is something that is crafted by teachers for our fellow teachers, and we don't think that the other learning management system providers have the same experience from the field that we have, since we ourselves felt how it really is to be a teacher from the ground. Individual teachers who are engaged in lesson planning may directly register on our website and start accessing our materials there for free, while educational administrators may also opt to avail a paid monthly subscription at an institutional level so they can ensure a standardized quality of learning for their whole school. As for the price, our premium plans are actually 3 times lower than that of traditional textbooks, so overall, Cerebro is a cost-effective solution for jump-starting online learning. So if you are a school owner or an administrator here in the Philippines, or you know of anyone who might be looking for a solution that will help address issues on faculty workload and learning standardization, connect with us so we can discuss how we can be partners in helping your educators to teach smart and live smart. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. So for this Q&A, I'd like to introduce Justin Itugot, CEO of Cerebro LMS. Let's give him a virtual round of applause.
Hi, everyone. Hi, John. Hi, the panelists. Good afternoon.
Okay, so Justin, This is your panel. So panelists, please feel free.
Hi, Justin. If I may ask, could you talk more about the traction that you've had so far in terms of getting teachers to use your platform? I mean, I think in the venture capital space, what a lot of investors look for is that hockey stick growth that will really make your startup really attractive for us to invest in. So yeah, tell us more about how are you able to use the pandemic to your advantage in terms of getting teachers to use your platform.
Hi, Jacob. Okay. So actually, we started in 2014 first as a tutorial center, and in 2019 we pivoted to e-learning. So we started crafting our learning materials, and in January 2020 we had the Taal volcano eruption and the COVID-19 pandemic happened. Actually, by late of 2019, what we have is just an MVP, and the pandemic forced us to immediately deliver to these schools to help them assist in their online learning. And during the pandemic, in the past 20 months, we were able to get 8,000 users coming from 13 schools, at least in Cavite and in Southern Metro Manila. And we also have our test market even in Central Visayas. And right now, most of our implementers are in Cavite, and we have reached out to them through their local private school associations and through account-based marketing. And we would like to have a significant market share, at least in Southern Luzon for now.
Okay, and then additionally, given that your MVP was only released in 2019, if I'm not correct, there must have been a couple of issues with regards to using that platform, like let's say a bit of bugs, a bit of problems with using that platform. What has been the feedback that you've been getting from the teachers using that?
Actually, unlike most edtech products in the market, we are not focusing on the platform being used. Rather, we are devoting our manpower and our resources on e-learning content development and instructional design for K-12 schools here in our country. And as teachers ourselves, we have actually realized that the main reason why teachers do not want to teach online is not because they have an issue with the platform, but they don't have the time to create digital versions of their teaching materials for online learning. And as we all know, most teachers still have their teaching materials on Manila papers and cartulinas, and shifting to e-learning would be a hassle for them. And this is the problem that we are trying to solve. And of course, with the contents that we have, there are still things that we need to revise because the curriculum of the Department of Education is continuously revising too. And since we are a team of licensed professional teachers, we are able to do that. And of course, gathering the feedback from our users, we are also able to implement this right away.
Okay. Thank you for that, Justin.
Thank you, Jacob.
If I may, I think so the focus right now is in content creation for the platform. What other aspects are you also touching at least with the tech?
Okay, actually for the technology, what we do is we take charge of the management of the learning management system from the setup, the deployment, and even up to the technical support. Because most schools, especially those with less than 300 students, have a hard time doing this on their own, because they don't have their own tech team, they don't have the resources for their IT infrastructure. So aside from providing the content, we are also the one who are managing the tech infrastructure for them. But right now, we are actually leveraging on open source technology. And of course, it's part of our roadmap to develop our proprietary platform so we can make it more specific to the Philippine educational system. And maybe that is where we might need the help of the mentors in this group.
Okay, if I may, like last follow-up is that so if there's a split between the clients that you have between private and public institutions, how many is private, how many is public?
Right now, because we are new in the edtech space, we are actually targeting private schools because the government has a lengthy procurement process. And aside from this, DepEd has actually utilized an open source platform for the learning management system for most of the schools. But actually, even though DepEd has their own learning management system, DepEd is actually allowing schools to have their own versions of their content delivery platforms. And yeah, basically our target is more on the private side. So 100% of our implementers right now are from the private school sector.
Hi, Justin. I just have a question. So, I think you have something going here. It's just the digital aspect and the curriculum. Aside from how the students are receiving it, Is it gonna be a challenge when schools start to open up again, and kind of move away from the digital, like I guess like learning from K1 to K12, because like private schools might shift, and would that affect your business?
Actually, based on the data that we have from our current clients, the return to face-to-face classes will not directly affect the use of digital contents like what we provide. Actually, we project that the effect of the return to face-to-face will only affect the use of live video conferencing tools for synchronized classes. And even before the pandemic, blended learning or the mixed use of offline and online resources are already adopted by most schools, especially in the private sector. So we do not foresee that we will be directly hit by the return of the students to face-to-face.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
you have something going here. It's a good model. I've seen it done in a much, I would say, lesser scale, not as technical as what you've shown, but I think this is really needed in the Philippines. So thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Any other questions from the panel? If there are no more questions, I'd like to ask from the panel, is there an offer for mentorship for Cerebro?
So just to start, I mean, Cerebro, you are, of course, one of our idea space incubatees. So you will
Yes.
always have our offer for mentorship. But so I hope that you will get fantastic offers from the rest of our mentors. But know that, e-learning is so important, especially ngayong COVID, no? So we're here for you, but I think I will leave the offers to the rest of our panelists para naman baka sabihin la bias na kami lagi yung nag-offer. But yes, we are here for you. And congrats, so much good work that you're doing, and so important that especially during COVID, no.
Yeah. Thank you, Pat. It's really a great. It's really great being part of the Idea Space and Kubo Network. Thank you.
So Kat saving her pick. Any other offers from the rest of the panel?
I'd like to give an offer for mentorship.
Okay, so we have an offer from Jacob.
So yeah, I mean, just to repeat what I said earlier, we're really focused on solving problems here in the Philippines. I myself, I have volunteered as a teacher in high school to teach public school students. So I really know that it's the education system needs some sort of help, especially during this pandemic, and we need everyone to kind of come together, brainstorm and fund great ideas that will help our students kind of take advantage of this pandemic in terms of online learning. And of course, as Jose Rizal once said, that the youth is the future of our country. So I think we should invest in our youth by helping Cerebro. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's my offer for you.
If it's fine, maybe I could ask another question just for final considerations. How's your fundraising status? Have you had the previous fundraising before?
Actually, we are still fully bootstrapped since 2019. Our initial revenue during the pandemic, we're able to sustain our operations. And right now, we are using that to sustain all the needs of our company. And of course, if we would like to grow, if we would like to further develop our product and expand our reach, then we really need to start accepting support from organizations like what you have.
All right. I guess maybe I'll take a stab at it. I can offer mentorship for now because the way I see it, the product currently is or the space is very saturated, and I think there's a lot of differentiation that still has to happen. But then given the current progress that you have so far, I think it's quite interesting. I think I'd offer mentorship for the meantime and possibly look at it for fundraising in the future.
I'd want to make an offer also. I could I'd be very open because we're a huge advocate for edtech. I know it's a very challenging space. I think all the investors here know about that, but I've seen it work in a lot of, I would say, SME type of execution. So uh, I'll I'd be willing to offer my time to talk to Justin, and hopefully actually have thought of a lot of synergies possible to for his business in the current state of our country. So yeah, it would be exciting to see if it's possible for him to implement those.
Well, there you have it, an offer of mentorship from Jason. So we have three offers for mentorship from Jason, from Abe, and from Jacob. Any other offers from the panel? Okay, so I think that's it. I think right now, Justin, you will have to make a decision. So there are three investors here who are fighting to be part of your board. Well, I wouldn't want to say that, but eventually, if they do make the offer of investment, right now it's just an offer for mentorship. So you will have to pick from the three. They are all equally interested in making sure that you get the mentorship that you need. So, Justin, who will it be?
So again, since we are a team of teachers and academic administrators, we're already familiar on the needs of the education industry. But since we are teachers, we need to develop more on the business side of things, and that is where we need your mentorship, and we really appreciate your offers. Thank you for offering, Abe. But for now, we will be accepting the offers for mentorship of Jacob and Jason. Thank you.
Okay, there you have it. Okay, Abe.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank
Hope to
you.
see you. I hope to hear from you soon and talk to you soon.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much.
Okay, congratulations. There you have it, Justin. Abe, I know you are now a bit disappointed with these two gentlemen in the screen on your left and on top. So please feel free to just do it like a punch on the screen, like one top and one bottom, just to make them feel your disappointment. And I'm sure you will be back with a vengeance. So there you go. There you go. So so there you have it. Congratulations, Justin. You now have two very able mentors who will be guiding you in the next phase of you growing your startup. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was the second startup. That was Cerebro LMS. And we move on now with our third startup. And the third is none other than Oh My Genie, or OMG. So Oh My Genie, OMG, is a Cebu-based startup. It is an ultra-fast AI-enabled last mile fulfillment company. They make it possible for businesses to get their products to their customers same day in as fast as 30 minutes instead of days or weeks. Representing Oh My Genie, I'd like to introduce their co-founder and CEO, or COO rather, Anna Michelle Kesner. Let's give her a virtual round of applause.
OMG, Oh My Genie is ultra-fast 30-minute delivery, the fastest way brands can get their products to both excited and demanding customers. Automatic Center, Philippines' oldest appliance chain to shut down. FitFlop Philippines shuts down operations for both online and offline stores. No Forever as Forever 21 closes CDO store. Truly, it is a very difficult time for brands right now. Decreased foot traffic in malls means significantly lower earnings and underutilized store outlets with slow-moving inventory. Plus, brands are losing 875 billion pesos online each year because of abandoned carts and canceled orders. The culprit? Buyers expect free and fast shipping. That's 70% of online buyers. I'm sure you have shopped online. I shop online a lot. And as a mom who shops online, there is a need to get quality everyday goods on time and on demand. Because sometimes it's simply impossible to plan ahead. And I don't know with you, but here in Cebu, we actually get orders around 5 to 7 days if we are lucky, and sometimes even up to 14 days. That's the sad reality in Visayas and Mindanao. But with OMG, we can do it in as fast as 30 minutes. Why? Because we simplify fulfillment and we ship closest to the customer. So we integrate with the brand's existing online stores. And when a customer places an order online, our system locates an available store outlet closest to the customer, fulfills and ships it there instead of shipping from a central warehouse across the country. That's fulfillment simplified by up to 65%, shipping costs decreased by up to 55%, slow moving inventory now converted to cash, and buyers' expectations of free and fast shipping fulfilled. This means increased conversions and accelerated revenue. Imagine if we can convert those lost 875 billion pesos into sale. So then these brands wouldn't have to close shop anymore. And now is the most opportune moment when the pandemic has led to big shifts in the region and has accelerated the adoption of online alternatives. I'm sure it has become apparent how e-commerce has grown, and as e-commerce grows, the fulfillment and logistics industry grows with it. And our partnership with SM Supermall, the largest mall operator in the country, has given us more opportunity by providing us a greater market share and easier penetration to other regions. So we are heavily integrated into SM's daily operations, thus cementing this partnership. We are currently operating in Cebu, but with your support, both financially and strategically, we should be able to extend serviceability to the entire Visayas and Mindanao regions in the next 12 months. That's a 15 billion peso obtainable market. We believe that the underserved Vismin market will benefit the most from our ultra-fast fulfillment. Plans of international expansion will be to similar archipelagic and provincial areas in Southeast Asia. From brands, we earn from commission on sales, marketing support, and delivery fees. From buyers, we earn from markups, convenience fees, and soon from a membership subscription model. We have a great team, lean and mean to execute. Our CEO and CTO has been a CIO of a mall chain for more than 10 years and has implemented several supply chain technologies. He completed Artificial Intelligence Advanced Track from Stanford University. Our CMO graduated Business Management and Marketing at Northwood University, Texas, and has been nominated as one of the top 10 outstanding young men in the Philippines. And I, the COO, have been a consistent youth leader and academic awardee. I have a strong background in business IT, and I am the finisher and the striver of the team. We believe that OMG will undoubtedly disrupt the express delivery market. More than that, OMG will be a catalyst for a stronger, more efficient, more resilient, sustainable supply chain. We have created a viable business on our own, but with your support, we should be able to continue to realize this vision at ultra-fast velocity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna Michelle. So joining us for the Q&A, we have Anna Michelle and Carl Kesner. So, hello.
I'll go first. Hi,
Hello.
hi, Carl and Michelle. I know we already met and some years ago, I think, when you were still starting, and I don't know if the talks fell off, but I actually don't I would say don't think to offer my mentorship, but what I would want to offer is to meet you guys in Cebu personally when I get back on December, to hopefully resume talks, and also I believe our business could benefit a lot from what you guys do. And I don't know where it fell off, but I'll ensure to set up a meeting myself with our team. So I want to meet you guys again, and I'll give the mentorship ours offer to the rest of the judges, but I'm glad to see you guys here.
Thank you for that, Jason.
Nice to see you here too, Jason. Thank you.
That's actually a very good offer because he doesn't need to mentor you. He will either become your customer or your investor. So I'm sure you're looking forward to that. So the rest of the panel, please.
I have a question.
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you because thus far you're the only team that's talked a little bit more about the team, and I think that's also very important, especially at early stage. So thank you for that. It sounds like an impressive team, but the problem that you are solving in that market is, in my opinion, very, very competitive and crowded. So I want to hear from you how you look at competition and how you plan to set yourselves apart.
Right. Thank you so much for that question. So at the core, what we're really trying to do is to decentralize fulfillment and enable our partner businesses to fulfill hyper locally so that they can get their products to their customers same day, even as fast as 30 minutes. Now, that's really a big deal for the Visayas and Mindanao regions, which we believe are very underserved. It could take up to 14 days for online orders to arrive. So it's a very different experience than in the NCR regions, right? So we're giving them that capability and the technological infrastructure to perform those, to adopt that model, right?
So you don't think that the heavily funded players in Manila and in the region would come to Visayas at some point, or do you feel like it will take some time?
Right. So yeah, that's what we're focusing on, just to strengthen the Visayas and Mindanao regions first, before any other players come into this market. Right? We believe strongly that we can create a strong ground here, without focusing first on the capital regions. So that's where we want to play, right? And other offerings might include like warehousing companies, which is very capital intensive. So right now we're targeting brands who have online presence, but also have physical stores in malls so that we can marry their offline and online channels, right? So it will act as like mini fulfillment hubs for our partners without investing heavily into warehousing and such.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions from the panel?
No question for me, but just a comment. I really love that. First of all, our first female pitcher for today. So go Startup Pinay. And also that you are serving, I think, a vast need, especially outside of NCR. I mean, as a Manilena girl myself, I take it for granted that stuff just arrives, no? Parang in less than 24 hours. I don't think that's true for many of our countrymen. And it's something they're enabling. So again, I will not offer you today para mentorship since you're already in our program. But that being said, like I'm so happy for you guys and really proud of the work that you're doing. So yeah.
Thank you for that, Kat. So we are running a little bit behind schedule. So I have been instructed to now ask each of you, is there an offer for mentorship that is coming to these two?
There is another offer, John. I just got word from my boss, Franco Verona, who would because he's very interested in mentoring you guys, and we believe that we at Foxmont have a lot to offer on the table because two of our managing partners are the original founders of Grab Philippines, so they are very much startup founders themselves, and they've been in the business for a long time with skin in the game. And additionally, one of our managing partners is one of the owners of the largest shipping and logistics company in the Philippines. So I think in terms of additional opportunities to work with larger companies, we have that as well. So we'd really much appreciate it if you considered our offer to mentor.
Okay, so Jacob, just to remind you, you've actually already picked your two picks, so you are actually disqualified from giving an offer for mentorship, you personally, but yes, Franco, your colleague, the very handsome, charming Franco, definitely can be a mentor, I'm sure, even with
sounds a little bit like cheating, John.
that is outside the scope of this session, but I'm sure the more mentors you have, except for I'm just laying the ground rules. Any of you can only choose two, but if it's outside and if it's for the benefit of the startup, go ahead. So yes, Franco, I know you did it the backdoor way. We will forgive you for that because we all want to help these startups, but sure, that is very much accepted. If, of course, our startups here accept that offer. So again, any other offers? If there are none. So is there any other offer for mentorship?
I guess you have Jacob or / Franco and Jason, which is not mentorship, but meeting up with them, no? Both very solid offers that I think Team OMG should take up.
There you go. So with that, I do not need to moderate your decision because that is really outside of the scope for this. We actually are very pleased with those quote unquote offers because I am sure regardless, it'll work out for you guys. So congratulations to the two of you. So it's
thank you so much.
It's great to have you here and to be representing the Visayas is indeed something that we should all be proud of, because even for the final pitch, we've always tried to champion Visayas and Mindanao entrepreneurs just because there's a lack of representation from them. So I'm glad that you're here as well, and of course our female startup here as well. So congratulations, Anna Michelle and Carl Kesner.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
See you soon, Carl and Michelle.
All right, see you, Jason. Right, thank you, Jacob.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Jason. See you soon.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks.
so with the next startup. So the next one is Mosaic Solutions. So Mosaic aims.
John, you're.
Okay, so we move on to the fourth startup. So, and that is none other than Mosaic Solutions. So Mosaic aims to help the Filipino F&B sector bounce back and thrive once again. Mosaic is driving the F&B industry into the digital future by offering innovative solutions that provide a fast path to the data and insights operators need to succeed. Its full suite restaurant management solution supports the growth of restaurants, cloud kitchens, and other retailers. Representing Mosaic, I'd like to introduce their founder and CEO, Brett Doyle. Take it away, Brett.
Hello, I'm Brett Doyle, the founder and CEO of Mosaic Solutions. Mosaic is a provider of software solutions and data analytics primarily into the F&B sector, but also retail. Our product suite is analytics, purchasing, point of sale, and inventory management. A few things that really help differentiate our product suite versus some of our competitors. First and foremost, our products are really designed and built specifically for F&B and have now been able to halo a little bit into retail as well. Our products are built to be really easy to use, which is really important in this sector where it's a fast-paced environment, and really easy to integrate with, which again is very differentiated. So we actually build everything on open architecture, but also do that integration work for our clients. And then also we allow our clients to buy things on a modular basis. You don't have to buy everything if you just want analytics as an example. Our clients come in a few different segments. First is the multi-unit, multi-brand restaurant groups like Moment Group, Wildflower, and others. Also cloud kitchens where Grab Kitchen, Cloud Eats, and Craver's Canteen are clients. Retailers, and then a new sector, mall operators and owners. We're really taking our analytics platform and just putting it into a new use case to help them get better visibility into tenant data. The pain points that we're really solving for are universal. I've been in this space for over a decade in different geographies, and it's the same pain points everywhere. Now, a lot of that stems from the fact that systems don't really communicate, and so people don't have a real holistic view of what's going on and don't have the right data at their fingertips to make better decisions. Our product suite solves for that. All of our products are seamlessly integrated with each other, obviously, but just as importantly, they integrate with other people's products as well. So we integrate back of house with accounting platforms like QuickBooks and Xero, front of house with delivery platforms like Grab or Foodpanda, and others. Since we started the business, we've really proven out the market and our ability to access larger clients, especially with our modular offering. The model with a 90+% recurring revenue, and the management team, I think, has proven itself, especially over the last couple of years. The market is large and growing. About half this projected growth is going to come from Asia, and a lot of that is driven by a move to cloud technology providers like ourselves. In addition, we're really at the nexus of a bunch of different trends that are driving this recovery out of the pandemic for the F&B sector. The key one really being this increased use of technology, and it's not going anywhere. It's going to stick around to drive both top line revenue, but also cost margin improvements. And that's exactly what we do. We're headquartered here in Manila. This is our primary market where most of our customers are. Coming out of our Series A, we plan to look to expand regionally. So markets like Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia will be at the top of the list in 2022 and beyond. This is a quick view of how we stack up against the competition, both here in the Philippines, but also those that we expect to encounter as we move into new markets. Where we've come from. So again, we started in late 2000, or sorry, we started our first paying customer in 2017 and have grown pretty tremendously since then, even over the last 2 years with the pandemic as we've grown into some new markets. And with this new mall business that we're launching and have signed a new client, we should really basically grow our customer base by 10x over the next 12 months. A view of some of the clients that we have, a good mix of restaurants, cloud kitchens, etc. Our clients have processed over 5 million orders and almost 100 million US of sales across our platform since January of last year. Again, a quick view of that platform, all cloud-based products, analytics, point of sale, purchasing, and inventory management. And our newest product, which is this tenant management solution, which will really help us expand, really grow exponentially as we move into this new sector where we're helping malls get better visibility into tenant data, which they need from a leasing perspective, but also just overall tenant health and how to grow the business. Lastly, I think our leadership team is, again, really experienced, especially for the size and stage of our company in this region, and has really proven itself since we started this business. We've raised about 4 million US to date from investors such as Gentry, Investable, Ideaspace, and others. And we're just about to kick off our Series A raise, where we'll be looking for financial and strategic partners to fund up to US 5 million. With that, I thank you for your time.
There you have it. That was the pitch of Brett Doyle. So Brett, here is your panel. So do any of our panelists have a question for Brett?
Yeah, one question for me. Brett, do you feel like you have fully saturated the Philippine market already? Like, how big is this market, and why do you feel like now is the right time to move across the region?
Yes. So we have not fully saturated the Philippines market for sure. So I think that the market is 90,000 registered locations, and we have 800. Right, in terms of F&B locations. Now, not all of those are necessarily addressable market, but it's still just to give you a sense of scale. Most of our clients right now are Metro Manila, so there's plenty of opportunity to expand within the Philippines, and we plan on doing that. I think when we look to raise our Series A, which probably will be kind of Q2 of next year, early Q2, kind of get it out into the market. There's an opportunity to expand and apply what we've learned here in the Philippines to other markets where we have, we're somewhat akin to the Philippines in terms of technology adoption, especially cloud adoption, importance of F&B, F&B spending, and what's the overall sort of competitive dynamics, and where are there potential channel partners that we can leverage as well. So I think there's plenty of runway here in the Philippines, and you know, and in terms of being able to grow this market, both with our sort of SaaS offering and the next level of products that we want to offer on top of that, which is more of a sort of marketplace of partner apps that I think we can add in because we have such a sticky customer base. But I do think that there is this opportunity to be regional as well, and to be regional from the Philippines, not needing to be regional from Singapore, right? And I think that's a really important element of it.
As you expand in Southeast Asia, how do you think, I mean, what parts of the Philippine playbook are not applicable, in your opinion, in these other countries?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think what's, we learned some lessons as anyone does when you're starting and growing a business, right? And I think, you know, we started with probably smaller customers than we would now when we go into new markets. I mean, I think everyone on the panel will agree and probably nod to this, but smaller customers can be a lot more painful than larger customers, right? And they're paying a lot smaller bills too, right? So it's not necessarily a great combination. So I think when we look into going to new markets, what we've really learned is that channel partners are strong. Channel partners are really important. And so we'll look to be able to accelerate growth by trying to find those right channel partner or partners. And I think the interesting thing about this region, which everyone sort of broadly speaks to as Southeast Asia, is it's actually a bunch of very different individual markets, right? And you have to have a somewhat different, you can apply your general playbook market by market, but you have to be able to adjust, and you have to find the right partner and the right sort of tweak the structure a little bit from a model perspective, even as you're going country by country, and that's what we'll be able to do.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from our panel?
I mean, quick one. What's your outlook for F&B, like now post-pandemic? You know, tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. You know, I think if you look at October this year versus last year, it was up strong. In October last year actually was a pretty good month relative to the rest of the year, right? And so I think everyone's expecting a big Q4. If you look at overall growth, you know, we've got pretty good numbers around Metro Manila from our customer base. And broadly speaking, the market was down 40% last year, which is about double what Southeast Asia was down in terms of F&B spending. Now we're also up more off a lower base, but we're up more this year so far. And I think everyone really expects that 2020, by the end of 2022, we're back to pre-pandemic levels. And if you look around at malls and restaurants over the last week, as a very small sample size, but a good indication of what's going to happen as we move deeper into Q4, I think that there's a lot of, you know, pent up demand out there. And we're talking to customers right now, larger enterprise level customers, 50, 100 plus locations, who are trying to get their technology stack in place before we get too deep into Q1, put it that way. So they're really, really focused on that because they all expect that they're going to have this surge that they need to be able to operate a lot more efficiently than they have over the last 18 months.
If I may ask, or if this is something that you could publicly share, at what current valuation are you at?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, it's fine. We're at just under 10 million from our last round.
And then looking at for Series A.
Yeah, I think we'll see what we're at from an MRR at that perspective, or ARR, right? So if you look at where we are right now, we have our contracted MRR is over 2 times what our actualized MRR is, right? So we've got a lot of work to do to onboard those clients and move through bigger clients that we've signed recently. And that's the whole point of Q4 and Q1 of next year, really, to show that traction and can put that MRR that's in our contracts onto our P&L, right? And to make sure that we get the benefit from that from a valuation perspective come Series A in Q2 of next year.
All right. Got it. So maybe I think I'll take a stab at it before anyone else goes. I think our my group basically handles around 36 different offices globally. And as you said, channel partners are important. And here in APAC, we have 10 of which are either large corporates or family offices that have had certain experiences in this kind of space. So I'd like to offer maybe to first take a look at mentorship, try to see how you guys are looking to expand possibly the markets of Indonesia, Vietnam, Korea, Thailand, all of which we have offices in. And then maybe we could take a look at for fundraising opportunity.
Great.
There you go. We have our first offer from Abe. Any other offers from the rest of the panel?
Just saying I'm out for this one, but Brett, we already invested in you, so
Yeah. Thanks, Kat.
Okay, if there are no other offers, Brett, congratulations. I think this is the beginning of hopefully a long and fruitful journey with Launch Garage. You are in good hands with Abe and the rest of the team. So I think there's going to be a lot of synergies as you progress with your Series A and your expansion outside of the Philippines. So
thank you, Abe. Looking forward to it.
Sure.
So there you have it. That was moving forward. I'd like to now introduce
Thank you,
our
Brett.
next startup. And that next startup is none other than Wella School System. So all the way from Cagayan de Oro, Wella is an end-to-end school system where students and parents can view their grades, announcements, billing statements through a mobile app. It aims to fill in the gap between the teachers, parents, and the school by automating the processes while providing real-time data. Representing Wella School Systems, I'd like to introduce their co-founder and CEO, John Vincent File. So the stage is yours, John.
Um, a teacher usually has an average class size of 30 students, and it's kind of hard for them to balance the administrative work and at the same time to monitor each students in their class. And this would affect our parents of not having the peace of mind of like not knowing in real time how their students or their kids in schools. So this is the solution that we're gonna provide. We are providing. So we basically provide a mobile application where parents and students can view real time their status in school or their progress in school. So these are the features that they can benefit from. Let me show you a quick video of how it works.
In partnership with Wella School Systems, we bring you the Corpus Christi School mobile app. Simply download this app at Google Play or at the App Store. Input the number you provided to the school registrar and type the verification code sent to your mobile number. Be up to date with the latest updates from the school. Stay informed with your child's attendance by viewing your child's daily time record. Be in the know of your child's whereabouts in school by receiving notifications from the school clinic or the office of the prefect of discipline. See your child's grades every quarter. Check your current billing statement from the school. And lastly, view the school calendar. Keeping ourselves constantly on board with the school is now made possible. With the Corpus Christi School mobile app, convenience and updates are within every Corpus Christian's reach, anytime, anywhere.
So this is our value proposition. So with our solution, it's 86 less time for our teachers or our school admins to prepare the reports they need. And then 75% less Excel sheets or paperwork that they have to process for them to produce or to generate the academic reports that they need. And compared to competitors, it's 93% less time to deploy, as our platform is really easy to use. It's very intuitive, and yeah, it's easy to adapt. So this is our target market. So we are targeting the private schools in the Philippines, and right down below is our potential revenue we can possibly achieve. And in the market, we're the most complete system compared to our competitors. Currently, we have 100 plus thousand students in our platform, from coming from the 150 plus private schools, from preschool to colleges or universities. So these are traction over the years. So we have been doubling our numbers. And our business model, we are a software as a service. We build schools, 100 peso per student per month. So in a year, it's 1,000 a year. So we only build for 10 months. So this is our team. So I'm John Fial. I'm the CEO and co-founder. I have my brother with me. He's the CTO. Christian, sales and marketing head, and Carl, our business development head. So this is our projected revenue. Last year we ended up with 20 million peso in revenue. This year we are targeting 63 million in peso. So we are currently raising fund 20 million for 10% equity to enhance Wella products and to acquire more schools. Join us in our mission to help our education sector. Thank you.
Thank you, John. So I present you your panel. So do we have any questions?
I have a question, John. You are only targeting private schools, or do you include in the market public schools or universities?
As of the moment, ma'am, we are currently all of them are private schools. At the moment, we are still researching on how we can penetrate the public sector. We actually had one public school last year, but it was more of PTA movement, since we cannot really directly deal with the government yet. So it was a movement from the PTA, and we were happy to know about it, that even public school parents are willing to pay for it, even out from their pocket. So we're hoping that government will help us out in the future.
Yeah, I'm very interested because you're helping out the school system, and knowing that the public school system would require really additional help insofar as administration is concerned. I would like to see how you could market this and assist the public school system.
Yes, to add, ma'am, definitely we are confident that we can help the public sector. To add, we have schools, private schools, as far as Lawag and Basilan, in even remote areas. We are able to serve them at this time. So we are confident that we can, definitely help and support the public sector.
Thank you.
Just to confirm, GM Vitas, is there an offer of investment? No, I'm just kidding. Is there an offer of mentorship, at least for now?
There is a problem for NDC to mentor because if, for example, we are going to select one of the startup ventures, we cannot be also a mentor. So we will just either invest or provide funding.
Okay, I am sure, John, that you are very sad right now that she has basically just said that she cannot mentor, but she can fund. So I will leave it now to the rest of the panel to make their own offers.
Done. Two questions for me. Could you tell us a bit about your sales funnel? I'm quite impressed with 150 schools that you've been able to onboard. So what does that look like? Is it just one person, 5 people? Is there like a salesperson calling out? How long does that entire process take? How many touch points? Tell us about the funnel.
Okay, so right now we have 10 salespersons in our arm. So how it works, we usually, right now, since it's pandemic, we're doing cold calls, digital marketing. Before we really do face-to-face presentations and going from school to school. So this even before and pre-pandemic or even now, we have our sales cycle is from let's say for this time it's January to May. We were able to close deals within 2 months. And to add, so far, if ever we will be able to demo a school, we have 80% win rate compared to our competitors. Because they said our product is the most advanced and fully featured and affordable in the market.
But are your 10 salespeople single man shows, or are they passing along to you so that you can close the deal, or how does that work?
Okay, right now we have our sales and marketing head. So all so he's included in the 10. So 9 of them is under this sales marketing head. So it passes to him. And then we have our IT team also who will do the presentations or technical demonstration.
So what do your pods look like, right? If you want to be covered the entire Philippines, how many people do you need to have to be able to cover the entire Philippines?
Okay. Currently, we have 60 full-time employees. And as mentioned, we have 10 sales persons. So right now, we have covered all the regions, but only one person per region. So we're looking forward to increase that number in the next months for us to expedite our process in acquiring these schools.
Thank you.
Miguel, let's cut to the chase. I sense your interest. Is there mentorship? Is there a mentorship offer right now for John?
Not at this time. I'm going to listen to the other questions first.
Really? After asking all those questions? Okay, fine. Okay, let's go to the rest with your questions. Any other questions from our panel?
I mean, John, again, you've invested in me already, so you've already convinced me. But please do tell us about your global expansion plans, because I think that was one thing that got me excited. So when we invested, so tell me about how that's going and what do you plan to do in the future?
So right now, we basically want to saturate the Philippine market. But next year, we are basically going to other Southeast Asian countries already. So we are in the top of partners or channels that we can tap into. Because right now we have a few outside the Philippines. Basically, there are just referrals. So they said there's one solid provider from Singapore, but it's pricey, lacks features, and the support is not that good. So there's still an opening for us. So while it's hot, we will definitely expand by next year.
Thank you for that, John. So unfortunately, we ran out of time. So again, I'd like to ask our panel, is there any offer that you would like to make to John?
I want to shout out to GMDitas. Please go invest with us. One of our startups from CDO. So go, guys.
No, I'll ask. Actually, I've been taking notes. I've been busy taking notes also. So I think this is one of the startups that I would like to look at. I'll ask our investment team to get in touch with John.
Well, there you go. I think that's as close to an offer as we can make. Definitely worth more than a possible mentorship. I think it is from the GM herself expressing interest in investing you have potentially gotten an investment today. So good luck with that. And
Thank you.
now we will proceed with our next startup. So our next startup is Agro Digital PH. So Agro Digital PH is in the business of raising farmers' incomes through end-to-end sustainable value chain solutions. Agro Digital PH is a play for food security, digitizing food chains to address inequities in the system. And it hopes to create an ecosystem that emancipates 400,000 food producers in 5 years. Representing Agro Digital PH, I'd like to introduce the founder and chief farming officer, Henry James Season. Let's give him a virtual round of applause.
Good day, everyone. My name is Henry James Season. I'm founder and chief farming officer at Agro Digital PH. We are advocates of change and are committed to uplift the lives of food producers through education and establishing a food system that puts a premium on trust and transparency. The Philippines has around 9.5 million farmers and fishers, down from 10.5 million 3 years ago. Yes, folks, we're steadily losing our farmers. Most of our farmers are smallholders, tilling 2 hectares or less, and live below the government income threshold for poverty that's pegged at 10,000 pesos a month. The food system that feeds us keeps our farmers poor. Let this sink in for a bit. Ironically, the people who are tasked to feed this nation are the ones getting hungry. So it all boils down to changing the game. Incremental changes to the current food system aren't going to cut it. We strongly believe communities, organized as cooperatives or associations, are key to setting up food producers for success. More importantly, addressing information gaps in the food system, equipping producers with the skills to produce better, and building the much-needed transparency to drastically reduce multiple handoffs of produce is key to creating a truly equitable food system. We are aiming to convert some 1,500 digitally receptive agri-based cooperatives and associations in the country over the next 5 years. By then, we would have emancipated more than 400,000 farmers and fishers. Bringing monthly incomes of 400,000 producers beyond the 10,000 peso poverty threshold means AgroDigital would easily have $1 billion passed through its platform, legitimizing the digitally supported food system. We decided to look under the hood and see where AgroDigital can realize the most value, and that is equipping organized smallholders with digital solutions to take control of their enterprise. At every step of the value chain, AgroDigital provides a smallholder-centric digital solution where we minimize demand-supply mismatches, reduce spoilage with just-in-time harvests, and trace the sources of food to the farming plot level. Our partners have sold around 44 million since we started in March 2020, and our monthly run rate is accelerating about 2.5 times. From a producer standpoint, the benefits are real. Exploring digital channels expands their income potential, while buyers reap the efficiencies in terms of pricing and availability. International organizations are validating AgroDigital's potential to change the food system and positively influence incomes of smallholders. This year, 3 groups who most appreciate the challenges besetting the world's food systems engaged the company. Most of our competitors are focused on final mile, while AgroDigital looks at the food system in its entirety. Inasmuch as digital marketplaces shorten the value chain to an extent, there are challenges that cannot be solved from this angle, and we deliberately chose other areas than marketplaces as our playground. These are profiling, production, and storage, including traceability. We are farmers ourselves and have designed and developed the platform based on the needs of organized smallholder farmers and fishers. We are a service utility designed for others to use, and that perhaps differentiates us from the rest. Our management team is made up of seasoned individuals coming from technology, agriculture, and finance. Altogether, AgroDigital is backed by decades of corporate experience in agri-entrepreneurship that definitely differentiates us from the rest of the agri-tech startups. In summary, we continue to drive demand as this spurs our farming clusters to continue production. The involvement of more farmer groups coupled with conscientious consumption from institutional buyers and the public at large means stability for this alternate way of doing business. Finally, please partner with us and invest in this new ecosystem. Be part of our story of hope. We are AgroDigital, and we harness the power of digital for the new Filipino farmer.
Hello, Henry. Meet your panel. Panelists, your questions, please.
Hi, Henry. I'll go first. I'm curious, what are the revenue streams of AgroDigital? Like, where is it coming from? The whole business model, because you have the whole value chain that you showed, but I'm just curious if I missed it, where how the company makes money in all angles.
All right. Yeah, so definitely the first one where we make income would be on our marketplace. So for transactions that have been commissioned or consummated, we take a percentage fee on that. Likewise, for those that are not directly basically related to money, we actually offer subscriptions in a sense for each of the modules that we offer our smallholders.
Okay. For the marketplace, because it's a very competitive space, right? And I would say the fresh produce and the poultry and the such, like, against, I would say, wet markets or retail. Is it cheaper, so that actually, because you cut out a lot of the middleman, the farmers make more, and for the customers it's cheaper?
All right. Yeah. So one thing I'd like to emphasize is that we're in the B2B space. So
B2B. Okay.
That's right. Yeah. So it's not exactly a crowded space, for one. Our customers are our cooperative partners as well. We encourage our cooperatives to put up their own marketplaces, such that we have an additional channel for the goods and services of each of our cooperative partners.
Okay, understood. So who are usually the in what regions, and who are the B2B clients that you have right now?
All right. So about 80%, 85% of our partners are in the Calabarzon area. But having said that, we have already started working with the folks in Region 1, primarily in Ilocos Sur and La Union. We've started in Benguet mid of this year, and then just about 2-3 weeks back, folks from Nueva Ecija who have seen the potential of working with all these communities. So it's really more of trying to get them to talk to one another and facilitating trade between these cooperatives. In terms of institutional buyers, primarily these are processors and supermarkets actually in Metro Manila. But from our conviction, we want to increase trade within the regions, because the Philippines isn't exactly Metro Manila.
And do you do consolidation and fulfillment for these institutional buyers, or no?
Okay. So we do that via our cooperative partners. So we are very asset light. The tech, we own the tech. It's really more of us teaching our cooperatives how to do the consolidation. So instead of just buying goods from them and then us putting a margin and selling, for us, it's really more of equipping all these farming groups to do these things eventually by themselves.
Okay, thank you.
So, Jason, sorry, before I let you go, Jason, is there an offer in the works?
I'm gonna hold for now. I'll wait for the others and see if it makes sense, because I only have one offer left, and I think we still have like 4 other companies, so I'm quite conservative for now.
Very quickly, it's just like selecting. Never mind. A special.
Well, I think that the project itself falls within the mandate also of NDC, apart from the startups, and we would like to get in touch again for potential or possible funding with a co-partner. So we'll get in touch with you.
Thank you.
Hi, Henry. It's good to see you again. I'm not sure if you remember, but I asked you a question when we first met, and it seemed like you hadn't thought about it that much yet. So I'll ask it again now, and I'm curious to hear what you're saying. Now that you are raising venture funding, like the moment you do, you set yourself down a path which needs to lead to an exit. What does an exit look like for you? And what are the key thresholds or metrics that you need to hit to be able to achieve an exit?
All right, that's a great question. Yeah, I did think about it a bit. Definitely for us, we are in for the long haul. We want to see the success of our venture. It's not a matter of a couple of series and then we also jump ship. We want to see that what we've committed for farmers is something that we realize. Eventually, we see it something like an IPO of sorts as the end point of the entire journey. Definitely, we're very keen on really sticking to our guns. This is an entire change management journey for an entire industry, and we're really up to the challenge.
So what do you need to achieve? What do you need to achieve to be able to do an IPO? Like,
Okay.
what are the thresholds, metrics?
So, all right, in terms of the number of farmers, definitely we need to have at least, we're thinking at least 400,000 farmers in that case. So it's just 1,500 cooperatives of maybe about 300 people each. As soon as you actually have people who are aspiring or basically subscribe to our way of doing business, then we become mainstream and we become a viable option for farmers to monetize their goods. Now we're thinking, so the Philippines has about 9 million farmers. 400,000 is just a small number. If you actually double that number in probably another 6 or 7 as we accelerate, and we see acceleration of adoption it's quite promising, then probably in that period we should be able to to network network not only farmers but the existing bagsakans or marketplaces, and we become mainstream, and that's what we're trying to do in this case.
Okay.
Miguel, so you've been gun shy. You've been teasing the startups. Is there an offer?
Yes, there is an
time?
offer. I
There
would
is an
like to
offer.
offer Henry mentorship.
There you go.
Thank you.
The very first offer from the very hard to get Miguel Encarnacion. So, any other offers from the rest of the panel? I hear heartbeat. I don't know.
I
where
will
this
throw
comes from.
in an offer also for Henry. You've been one that I've been watching. Yes, you have joined our program, no? Pero I think we would love to invest more in you. I am such a huge fan of the agro-food sector. And what you're doing, I think it's so important. I'm also a user. So yeah, I would also love to mentor you more, Henry, and see where we can go with this, working with Miguel. So yeah. And maybe GMDitas, no? Like since she's
We'll
collabing with all of
invest-
us. So
yeah, we make fun invest-
it's such an important thing, right? Like what you're doing in the agro-food sector. And I would also love to throw in my mentorship
Thanks,
ticket here.
Is it too late to throw in maybe a quick question?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
How do you see this product to be regionally relevant, meaning Southeast Asia at the very least?
That's actually a great question because we already have. So we're working with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN. We have some interest actually in Laos as well as Cambodia to basically work with a partner in those areas. We're talking about something that's relevant. Even in developed countries, apparently, during the Food for Thought for Food conference a few months back, even in developed countries, they actually experience problems with their supply and value chain. So it's equally relevant, definitely.
Okay, Abe, is there an offer coming from you?
Yeah, honestly, maybe I could offer in also our mentorship because if ever there would be any technologies that could be regionally relevant, it would be in the agro space, especially for those coming from the Philippines. So I'd like to spice things up, maybe throw in, make things a little exciting and offer up another option for a mentorship.
There you go. So you are now picking between Kat, Miguel, and Abe. So who will it be? You have to make a decision now, Henry. I'm giving you 10 seconds to make your choice. Give me 2 names.
All right. I'll go for Miguel and Kat.
There you go. Miguel, Kat, you are now the mentors of Henry. Abe, I don't know. This is the second time that this has happened. I am so sorry. This was not set up, I promise you. But somehow, this is not your lucky day. I'm so sorry
Yeah,
for that.
it's
But
fine. It's fine. I guess I'm up against quite an outstanding panel. Um, More than happy to be turned down against these guys.
okay, so I won't embarrass you any longer. I think I won't. Yeah, I think you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, Henry, congratulations. You now have two new mentors plus a possible investment from SVF. So, congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
On to the next startup, we have Dirtbag. So another startup from Cagayan de Oro. Dirtbag is a laundry service provider that aims to revolutionize the laundry industry in the Philippines. It has a one-swipe feature that allows the customer to present their contact information, guaranteeing every booking gets picked up and delivered the very next day without constraints on location and with no incremental charges. Representing Dirtbag, I'd like to introduce their chief launderer or chief labandero, Richard Abdelin. Take it away, Richard.
Are you still doing laundry by yourself? Or perhaps do some walking around and drop it off at the nearest laundry shop? Why not book for a laundry service or pick up and deliver instead? Let me guess. Expensive. We are Dirtbag. Easy laundry everywhere, for everyone. Easy on the lifestyle, easy on the budget. My name is Richard, one of the founders and your chief launderer. There are more than 4,000 laundry shops in the Philippines, more than enough to serve the 4 million households of the country. Yet only 30% of these households use these services. Why? Is it really worth the time and effort doing it by yourself at home? I don't think so. The problem is supply and demand just don't match. On the one hand, the business wants to profit, while on the other, the customer wants it convenient and cheap. But convenience comes with a price. As a result, 70% of the market would rather do it at home. And that kills the business. And it pains to see wasted capital just because both supply and demand could not meet halfway. This is where we come in. Our solution is to partner with these existing laundry shops and tap on their spare capacities. While we help them with the sales, we are giving customers reasons to buy. In just a single swipe, customer gets guaranteed booking wherever he is in the city, paying the same price as with the others. And that's market price, no premium. Dirtbag then consolidates all orders, distribute equitably to the laundry shops, gets fulfilled and delivered the very next day back to the customer. All check for the customer, all check for the business. Everybody happy. Our routing automation allows customer to book easily in just a single swipe, without constraints on location and with no incremental charges, just as the customer wanted. And no, we are not just a mobile app, and we are not a marketplace. It's laundry, it's dirty. You don't have to browse like Netflix for that. All you ever needed is just one swipe. And that's why customers love us. We have grown 249% year over year from 900,000 last year to 3.2 million pesos in revenue as of September this year. We will be closing 2021 at 5 million pesos compared to last year's 1.7 million. And the business model is very simple. We take 20% on sales plus the transport and other fees we collect from the customers. And among the other players in this industry, we are the only ones who can sustain a citywide coverage while maintaining market price and without the need of a higher markup in pickup and delivery. And we have a very diverse team in the fields of logistics, business, operations, and software development. I used to head the entire fleet and national expansion of Ninja Van Philippines before moving to Oyo Hotels as head of business development in Visayas and Mindanao. Ren was with me in Ninja Van, heading Mindanao operations before moving to Food Panda. And Kim is an expert in analytics and research. If we are talking data, that's Kim. Both Winlove and RG are taking care of our tech with their 15 years experience in software development. We're looking to raise $100,000 to fund our business expansion plans and ready our tech for scalability. We're currently at Cagayan de Oro and we're looking to expand Davao, Cebu, Bacolod, Iloilo before heading to the NCR. And we all aim to help A lot more businesses need help. Dirtbag can be the answer. Help us help them. We know how to. Thank you.
Richard, I bring to you your panel. Panelists, any questions for our chief labandero?
Yes,
Richard.
I would like to ask. So again, hi Richard. I'm Jacob from Foxmont. I just wanted to ask more about your revenues. So am I correct in understanding that the millions of pesos in revenues that you've had for the year are all just from Cagayan de Oro?
Yes. Hi, Jacob. Yes, this is for Cagayan de Oro for now. We're still in Cagayan de Oro as a business.
Okay, and can you clarify more on the like how far are you in terms of expansion? Like, you plan to expand in all of these other cities in Visayas and Mindanao, right? Do you have a specific timeline for that? Like, which month or in which year do you have planned for which city?
Yeah, supposedly we were raising funds for the expansion of Cebu City, and it's just put on hold considering that we were not able to raise the enough amount for the setup cost in the city. But in terms of onboarding, we are already looking for a team of managers to be trained in Cagayan de Oro so that they themselves will be the one to help us in expanding to Cebu. But the target would be at most before the end of the first quarter of 2022.
Okay, and eventually, and you will have to, or if you do want to become the dominant player in this country, of course, you have to expand at the NCR region at some point. What challenges do you foresee when it comes to establishing a foothold there in Metro Manila?
Kim, would you like to take the floor? Sorry.
Yeah, so if we do expand in Manila, one is that we're like fish out of the water. So we are originally from Mindanao area, so it makes sense for us where we have our connections and our network already in place, and we know the culture better, the spending capacity of the people, the community culture. So that's why we wanted to leverage that and start in Vismin area. So by the time that we dominate NCR, we already have our B2C growth. So our data, our metrics, and our income would speak for ourselves. So it would be easier to just establish the brand in NCR. So that's why we chose to have the tactic.
Okay. And lastly, could you talk more about
Thank you,
cost and
Jacob.
expenses?
Sorry. Thank
Okay.
you for your questions,
John.
but I have to remind you that you do not have the privilege to ask any more questions because you are not entitled to make an offer. So I will now leave that to the rest of the panel. I know Franco's right there on your headset, asking all these questions. So
Yes.
Franco, let the other panelists ask their questions.
Sorry, Franco.
No, I think those were excellent questions. I was just waiting for Jacob to ask all the questions, then I'll make my offer. Actually, I would really want to meet you guys. Being also a fellow Cebuano myself. But aside from that, is that the business model makes a lot of sense. Our regional partners have invested in similar models that cater to, I would say, like off-peak usage, right? So it can be in a lot of industries. And so it makes a lot of sense, and I would want to make an offer after looking at the business. Actually, I don't have much questions during this time. It's more like a more in-depth questions, which I think we could do during the mentoring hours.
There you go. Okay, any other offers from the rest of the panel?
Let Jacob ask his question.
Jacob, I think you're doing the DD very well for everyone. And Franco, thank you as well. Okay, you can ask your questions, but I have to remind you, you cannot make an offer. Go ahead.
First off, before I go with my question, I just want to say that I'm a Mindanaoan myself. So hopefully after this we can talk and discuss business sometime. But my question is, more on the expenses side. Can you talk a bit more about the expenses involved in kind of running your business right now? I mean, what percentage of it are you spending on, let's say, developers, and what expenses are you paying in terms of, let's say, logistics stuff?
Well, currently, as a business model, as mentioned earlier, we take 20%, and the 20% would spend mostly on administrative costs and salaries on the dirt bag side, which is mostly for managers, the tech side, and also marketing. So that's the three major components of the dirt bag side. The 80% would take care of the cost of goods sold, as well as the OPEX, because we don't have the drivers and the fulfillment team are all part of the business model. So the bigger part is mostly tech, because our tech right now is purely basic. We are taking care first of the consumer side to make sure that we will be able to capture a good demand or market from the B2C aspect of the business. Then on the marketing side, we are also heavily investing in it, almost 50%, because demand drive is very difficult to capture, because we really have to tell the people to use the service. So apart from getting the attention of those already or the current users of a laundry service, there are still untapped market, which is they're just doing it by themselves at home, and we still want them to avail our service. So marketing plays a big role in our business.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so aside from Jason, any other offers from the panel?
The offer for me, since incubating din namin sila, pero a very, very quick question. No? So, are you gonna do Mindanao first, Visayas first, NCR first? Like, what's your priority, since we can't do everything all at once, no? Or global first? I don't know. Like, as a team, what's the thing that you really want to do first?
Yeah, as mentioned by Kim earlier, we are targeting, since we are here in Cagayan de Oro, we are going to Cebu first. Next, because we want to imprint an idea that we are already present in both Vismin regions. By the time we hit the Luzon area, which particular NCR, it will already have a good ring to the ear, right? That we already nationwide, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and also by then we would have established a good market. A market which has not been penetrated by a bigger player, perhaps from Metro Manila. So we will be targeting in Mindanao, Cagayan de Oro, and Davao, the more matured markets here in Mindanao, and then Cebu, the entire Cebu, 3 cities in Cebu in particular, Cebu, Mandaue, and Lapu-Lapu, and also Bacolod and Iloilo. And then we will be talking about Luzon, NCR, Angeles City, Laguna, and the rest.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, unfortunately, we ran out of time. So if there are no other offers, okay, congratulations. So there you have it. I think, Jason, you have a new mentee in Richard. So I hope that things go a long way with your partnership.
Thank
you. Moving
Sure,
on.
I'll hear from you soon, Richard. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on. The next startup is Farmbox. So Farmbox is a social enterprise based in Batangas, whose mission is to uplift the lives of our local farmers by providing access to quality farming essentials and agricultural solutions, and even eliminating getting loans. Farmbox customers can purchase an all-in box that contains all the farmers' needs to change their lives, from farming essentials, trainings, handbooks, tools, and even a customer for the produce. Representing Farmbox, I'd like to introduce their CEO, John Lester Mendoza. Let's give him a virtual round of applause.
Meet Nanay Flora, farming for almost 20 years. Each start of farming season, she'll borrow money to buy her farming needs. And along her journey, since she is not yet harvesting, she'll borrow money to support her family's needs. This borrowed money entails a huge interest. Loan after loan, interest piles up from a 60,000 profit from harvest she'll just take home at around 2,000 pesos and at the end of each farming season. This is not just Nanay Flora's journey. 3.7 million more are stuck in this cycle. Hi, my name is Lester. I'm a registered farmer, the co-founder and CEO of Farmbox. Farmbox has the mission to uplift the lives of our local farmers by helping them have access to quality farming essentials and agricultural solutions, eliminating the loan after loan farmer's journey. Farmbox enables our customers to help our local farmers by purchasing the all-in box, which contains all the farmers' needs to change their lives, from farming essentials, trainings, handbooks, tools, allowances, and even a customer for the produce. At Farmbox, we help our farmers to become a distant farmer through our four different boxes that can be assigned to four different types of farmers. These boxes contains the essential needs of our farmers. We have selected these boxes because these are high value, faster turnaround, and are on demand. Once you have a box already, there will be a net profit sharing between the farm box, sponsors, and our farmers. We also have different streams of incomes to support and further growth the company. We want to tap the likes of Paulo to sponsor the boxes, which are the millennials, who takes part of the 27.6% of the Philippine workforce. He has a stable income, wants to grow his money passively, and wants to create an impact to the community. How far these boxes will go is from handing the boxes, we help our farmers through skills development, improve their profit by partnering with businesses for sure buyers of the produce. Currently, we have three communities in Batangas, and we will be tapping more in southern Luzon and later on around the Philippines. As of today, we have a total revenue of almost 1.4 million, and we are looking to grow at 8 million on 2022, targeting to add 8 more communities. For us to keep track of our success and the impact we are creating, we are assessing the agricultural productivity, the selling price of the produce, because keeping this high will also improve our profits and our partner farmers. Among our competitors, our advantage is that we are eliminating all possible loan interest in the entire farmer's journey. We farm with sure demand from our partners, and we make sure that we are improving their profits and also improving their lives. To further grow the company or farm box and our partners, we need to strengthen our marketplace, the equipment for our partner farmers, apply digitalization on farming activities of our partner farmers, and improve the platform for better farmer and customer experience. And here's the team behind Farmbox with expertise to drive the growth of the company. Just like Nanay Flora, there are more that needs our help. We just want to rewrite their stories. We want to wake up one day. They are farmers that can stand on their own, really enjoy what they are reaping from their farms. No more loan sharks or middlemen to take advantage of our hero farmers. The next farming season will be a new day of hope and success. Let's be part of that story. So what are you waiting for? Let's help our local farmers, one box at a time. Thank you.
Hi, John Lester. Nice to see you again. You were our contestant on this season's The Final Pitch virtual edition. So I just saw you a couple of months back. I'm glad you're here pitching today to a new panel here this time for the SBF. So to the panelists, your questions, please.
I can start. Hi, John. Good afternoon. Since your boxes, I see here that range less than 10K or something. Would that be enough, or you consolidate it for like a farmer because I think they need more, right? And how is the profit sharing done for I know it's 20% to the buyer of the box, but between your company and the farmer, can you elaborate on the expense and the sharing?
Okay. Each farmer can have different amount of boxes. Not just one. This is based on the capacity of each farmers, and also for the expenses. So the boxes will be given to the farmers, and at the end of each farming cycle, we will be also helping them to sell the produce, and there will be a net profit sharing. Right now, for our crop box, for example, so we have given 3 boxes, an average of 3 boxes for a single farmer, a high value crop farmer, and at the end of the farming cycle, which is after 4 months, the 15,000 became at around 30,000, more or less 30,000, which aids the farmers having 70% of the net profit share, while the 20% of the net profit share, which is from the 17,000, goes to the sponsor, and the rest it goes to farm box.
And I'm curious actually. So most of these farmers that you tap own the land, because I think one of the biggest expenses, right, for farming is the share of the landlord.
Yes. Currently, what we are the farmers that we are tapping are currently also the landowners, or the recipient of the lands from the previous owners, and also if there will be farmers that don't have their land, so we let them spoke to the specific landowner or the relatives that who owns the land on the agreement, and we also we also have the option to do the hydroponics, since it can be through their backyard. It can be in their backyard. We can also tap them to farm even though they don't have their own land.
Okay. I think I'll give the time to the other judges, but I'll keep it short. I want to make an offer. I think I exceeded already, but I'm just gonna follow Jacob's lead for breaking the rules. So I want to make an offer to you, and actually know more about your business. And I think there's a lot of opportunities we can open up with what you're doing. I'm a huge advocate for giving farmers more profit compared to the existing culture or the existing setup. So I'm really glad and to see what you're doing. So I'm gonna offer my mentor hours to you.
Okay, there you go, Jacob. Thank you for setting that precedent for the panelists now breaking the rules. But that broken rule is fine by us, the organizers, and I'm sure the SVF. So you have one offer for mentorship now. John Lester, any other offers from the rest of the panel?
We're also interested for potential investment through the SBF. So we'd like to get in touch with Lester. Very good proposition.
I really love agro food. I've mentioned this earlier. So congratulations, Lester. She's not on the stream, but I know she's on the call. So I do want to flag this particular startup for the DOST and USEC Hi. Just because I think you're really doing amazing work for farmers and for the industrialization of our agriculture sector. So amazing work, Lester. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm not gonna make an offer kasi lagpas na yata ako, pero like, yeah, good job.
I just want to second what Kat said. I think what you're doing is amazing, Lester. But I guess I have a question. Do you really see that this is a fit for venture capital funding? Or at least I assume that you are raising venture capital funding. That's why you're here today, right?
Yes. Currently at Farmbox, what we are doing is that currently we have this program for our farmers. One of them, Nanay Lydia, she is our poultry. She is our hog raiser. We really want this. What is the mission of us is to really uplift the lives of our farmers. So we are giving to as an exit strategy for our farmers and being not entirely dependent moving forward to Farmbox. We are now giving them businesses for us to be future suppliers for Farmbox. For example, Nanay Lydia is now we are training Farmbox is training her and even the business side of managing it to be a pig breeding to have a pig breeding business so that in the future she will be the one supplying us the piglets to help other farmers, and we will be a co-owner of that, helping them along the way on her business, and also she can also supply to other partners that Farmbox has on their portfolio.
Well, I still don't think that it's a great fit for venture capital funding, but I like you. I like what you're doing. So I would offer mentorship to you as well, and maybe we can talk some more afterwards.
Okay, so with that, I think we have the offers now made. So you now have a new mentor with Miguel. You also have a mentorship offer from Jason, and also a potential investment from SVF through GM Ditas. So, John Lester, you did not land an investment on the final pitch. I did tell you that you should go on, and obviously now you are you're really keeping at it, and congratulations for making it here to the top 10.
Yes.
I also, as you know, personally believe in what you're doing. There should be more done for our farmers, and it's just great that you get to do this, and now hopefully with more people helping you out. So congratulations.
Thanks, John. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the offer.
Okay, that was John Lester. To our next startup, and this next startup is none other than Shoppertainment. So Shoppertainment Live is the Philippines' pioneer full production live stream shopping agency. It specializes in e-commerce and content creation to help brands stay on top of their digital marketing game. Shoppertainment also helps shoppers understand products more through real-time engagement, reviews, and entertaining live demos while enabling them to purchase the products seamlessly with ease. Representing Shoppertainment, I'd like to introduce their CEO, Yasmin Neri Soyao. The floor is yours, Yas.
Hello everyone, my name is Yasmin Neri Soyao and I'm the CEO of Shoppertainment Live. What do you get when you combine brands, consumers, products, influencers, experts, demos, and conversion in one single live?
Magical Christmas, mga kukmare! Hello, what's sa ating mga kukmares out there?
Hello, hi Patty. Hello to everyone that's tuned in.
Hello, Mom. I know you're watching too.
Alam ko na-miss niyo ako.
Hello, everyone. Hello to everybody joining us in today's live.
And massage thoroughly to absorb into wet hair.
Dito siya, 5 essential
Grab your vouchers, add to cart, and check out now.
Add to cart na yan.
Sineseason ko na itong tuna. Ito, tinawag na all-in-one kasi nandito na po ang lahat.
Gagawin niya po ang lahat kumanta.
Master, you're good to go.
Sound boost natin amplifies sound.
And forget you are wearing earbuds. Marami kaming great deals para sa inyo.
All you have to do is add to cart. Sobrang simple lang, di ba? Positively perfect deal.
Pakulo, may pa-something.
See? Parang
wala na, no?
How does it feel, my friend? Is it comfortable?
Gusto mo yung vacuum din, ipasok natin.
Ito ulit. Ikaw na kasi isip ko eh. Hindi niya talaga ako binibigo. 18 hours. Wow, 18 hours battery life. Ang dami kailangan i-take note.
Yan, super close up.
Hindi, ganyan, wave.
Ano ba yan? Hard ba yan?
Ang daldal ko. Ang daming kwento.
Goodbye and enjoy your shopping. Stay safe.
So So that's Shoppertainment Live. We are a multi-channel network for e-commerce and social media, and we enable advertising agencies, companies, and e-commerce platforms to properly sell products in an online broadcast setup. So why do we live stream? First is what you see is what you get. You get to have real-time engagement with your shoppers. You also get to build community following, and you also give a good customer experience online. You also become the eyes, ears, nose, and taste of the customers before they consider buying a product that will fit their own lifestyles. So this is how we started back in 2019 with just a makeshift studio. And right now, we actually have 10 studios with different lifestyle categories in 2021. So the live stream e-commerce industry has an estimated revenue of 168 billion US dollars in China. And definitely we're the first one building this here in the Philippines. And we are actually a combination of three industries. We have e-commerce, we have events and advertising, and we also have broadcast. So I personally came from the home shopping broadcast industry. So this is Shoppertainment by the numbers. We have 170% increase in live shopping campaigns from 2020 to 2021. We have 300% sales growth from 2020 versus 2021. We have 150 brand partners, and we have 80 to 100 streams a month, and we have up to 1,500 live stream shopping capacity per month. We also have done 1,000 plus streams in 2 years, and we currently have 50 employees in our 1,000 square meter lifestyle studios. We are also profitable and cash flow positive. So who is our audience? We have our millennials and also the Gen Zs. And what's common with these two markets is that they're also on the lookout for bargains, promos, and freebies. So these are the different live stream categories that we actually went live with in 2020. So we have grocery, beauty and personal care, home technology, and more. So how does live stream shopping impact your brand's KPI? So first, it helps in increasing your store traffic and store followers. Second is that it helps in influencing the purchase decision of our shoppers. And third is that it helps in increasing store traffic for engagement and product clicks. So a lot of marketers are also asking us, are you actually converting from all of these live streams? Yes. So in 2020, we actually got 6-figure sales in 1 hour for a particular brand. So definitely it's increasing and the trajectory is upwards. So this is our ask. First is to expand our reach globally. Second is to have more e-commerce brand partners. And third is to have technology partners so that we can really scale up and have more efficiency and more services that we can bring to the table. So is live stream shopping a trend? They say it takes 30 days to make a habit, but it's now been over a year. So definitely live stream e-commerce is part of the new normal. Thank you.
Welcome, Yas. So we have here Yas, and also, should I was not prepared for you to also be here. So Yas, why don't you introduce your better half?
Hello, this is Pat. Actually, he's actually our Chief Strategy Officer as well. He's joining us for the pitch.
Welcome, Pat. So Pat Soyao also. Actually, Yas and Pat were not contestants, but mentors on this season's The Final Pitch virtual edition. So I'd like to now leave you to our panel for their questions.
So if I may, how's the model like? Do brands subscribe to this service, or is there a certain transaction cost which you get from your GMV?
Yes, we do both. So definitely there's subscriptions, there's also advertising models, and there's also GMV commission based.
Got it. And then with the particular product that you have, is this done through other channels such as like Facebook, or do you have your own?
Yes, this is actually in all the platforms that is relevant for the brands so that we can get more traffic and really have more sales to bring in for our brands as well.
Got it. If I may also ask, how much total GMV have you already processed maybe for this year?
It would depend on the different categories. Of course, in e-commerce, there would be different GMVs that you would get per category. But for live stream commerce alone, we started with just 1% to 2% GMV conversion, and then it started having 10% conversions. And in 2021, we've been having more 10% conversions as well. So it's initially it was part of the e-commerce as a marketing tool, but now it's also having its own way of gaining these GMVs apart from the sales that you're getting from the e-commerce stores.
So I'm gonna assume that everyone watching could order live, right? Since it's a live streaming e-commerce platform. Who does the fulfillment, and do you actually concession it, or the brands have to fulfill it themselves?
One of our partners is also a fulfillment company. So actually, Steve C of Great Deals E-commerce is also one of our partners. And most of our fulfillment will be with them. However, there are also some other companies who prefer to do it in-house or other fulfillment centers. So whichever fulfillment center that a particular brand has, we can work with them as well, since we have an integrated process that we can do with the e-commerce side.
So the payment is also integrated within your app.
Hello?
So the payment system, how the customers who order can be done in your application.
Yes, they can actually add to cart to the e-commerce store as well. So it can be on the Shopify web commerce, or in the Lazada, or in the Shopee.
Okay, understood. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Yas and Pat. I just want to ask a question in terms of how you differentiate your business model with the players who have already done live stream in the past. So, of course, I think the number one adopter of live stream selling is the startups in China, right? So you have Douyin and Kuaishou. So how do you differentiate the way they do business there with how you kind of implement this concept here in the Philippines?
I think it's really more the consumer market or the watchers here. The behavior is very different compared to those in China. Brands here are also different when it comes to partnering with certain productions. Definitely the representation of their brands and the branding itself is very different when it comes to the Philippines. They're very conscious about those. So we were also able to understand more how people would want to consume here in the Philippines, how they would want to have their giveaways, how they want to have bundles, how they want to have their promos. So there's a different behavior here in the Philippines. But when it comes to the live stream multi-channel network model in China, it's very, very similar. It's just that we target the Filipinos first.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Oh yes, Startup Pinay, yay. Really glad to see a female founder pitching here today. Yeah, so can you tell us about your fundraising goals? What are you looking to do, and what do you want to be, right? Like, and how can we help you get there? So yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so right now we're actually creating channels within different platforms. So as you know, we also produce flagship shows in several e-commerce sites. So that way we can also have this concept of what you call group live. So right now what we're doing is we're catering per brand, but through the group live, we are able to get in some SMEs as well so that they can have a part or a segment as well in a 2-hour show, for example, of live selling. And it's all well produced, great traffic because we are supported by our e-commerce platforms as well. Another one is we're also doing consignments so that we can have a different way of earning as well, not just productions and also media buys. Maybe our CSO can also add.
Yeah. We're actually doing for the consignment model. Since we're seeing traction in terms of conversion. In fact, we getting 6-figure sales in just 1 hour is starting to become a norm. So we've been doing some case studies where for the past few months, It's now reaching to seven-figure sales coming from all the live streams. So we started this consignment model where we'll be getting commissions in lieu of our live stream services. So to really ramp up our sales.
That's fantastic. Well, I mean, I'll put it out there. Definitely for you, yes, especially like I would love to be your mentor as a fellow Pinay in the startup ecosystem. And yeah, we worked with, I guess Jacob's the expert here, no, pero we have worked with Kumu podcast network, right? Like other people in the media space and ecom. So yeah, we would love to have you in our network, and more power, guys. Like, please don't sell people stuff they don't need. The environment sucks, right? Like, so don't overconsume. But at the same time, I also do want to support like what you're doing and how you're facilitating e-commerce, and especially, handling the kilite, diba, of the Filipino and what we want to buy, and connecting us with the things that we really need, and the best things that we can buy. So yeah, I'll put my offer out there. But yeah.
There you go. So we have a mentorship offer from Kat. She does have two already, but as we said, we've already thrown the rules out the window, courtesy of Jacob over here. So Abe, you have one pick so far. Are you also going to make an offer to mentor Shoppertainment?
Actually, I'd like to take it up a notch a bit. The numbers are looking quite great. Maybe I'd like to know a little bit more on, are you guys fundraising right now?
Oh, yes.
What's your investment ask?
So far, we're still finalizing that. And since some investors are already approaching us, and with our plans for next year, and we're already looking at, since our year-on-year growth is 300%, so we're gonna really bank on that, and we're gonna ask for more budget for us to maximize the growth of the organization.
Just to show you as well, we started with just 3 studios and we bootstrapped. Now we have 10 studios already with a maximum capacity of 1,500.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on my side, add me up to the list of interested investors, and I think if you'd be more than happy to take us into part of this offer, be more than happy to be updated on when that raise will actually be, what the terms are.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There you have it. I think no one is at this point extending mentorship to you guys. I think investments are on the table. I think you've put yourself in a spot where you are already ripe for investments from these VCs. Any other investments from the panel? Or sorry, I'm jumping the gun. Any other offers from the panel?
I'd like to extend an offer of membership.
I'm interested to take a look also on the company. Our regional place have a lot of I would say live stream e-commerce place, and I think this would be very interesting for my partners in Malaysia and Singapore. So we'd also be interested to sit with Abe, with you guys once you start doing your road shows. On the mentor, I don't think you guys need mentoring anymore. So yeah, we'd be interested to meet you guys soon.
There you have it. Any other offers from the panel?
Yeah, I on behalf of Foxmont again, I do realize that I'm kind of out of line at this point, but I really love the business model personally. I think that there's a lot of upside to it, and I think my partners would also see that. And so at sometime in the future, hopefully we could get together and kind of talk and discuss more about your business. I believe that we have a lot to offer. Our partners at Foxmont are very well educated. 3 of them are from Harvard Business School. So if you really want to learn anything to kind of scale your business, we have the expertise that's needed to kind of bring you to the next level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So with that, I think that's a handful already for you. Pat, yes, congratulations. You were here for the mentorship, but obviously that is not what you got, because you are way beyond mentorship at this point. I think you are poised to, follow that hockey stick that we also want to achieve. And we do need more success stories here in the Philippines, and you are one of them already. And we're really looking forward to seeing that growth, not just in the Philippines, but across the region as well. So congratulations, Yas and Pat.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
We move on now to the final startup for tonight. And that final startup is none other than JazzyPay. So JazzyPay is an affordable and accessible digital payment solution for traditional businesses. They enable businesses to accept 27 payment methods, including credit cards, online bank transfers, e-wallets, and over-the-counter cash deposits. Customers pay via QR code or by simply typing the company name in the app or website from anywhere in the world, while companies can also monitor transactions through its dashboard and receive real-time notifications via text and email. I'd like to introduce the COO and co-founder of JazzyPay, Kathleen Acosta. The virtual stage is yours, Kathleen.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Acosta, COO and co-founder of JazzyPay. We provide affordable and accessible digital payment solutions for traditional businesses. Currently, 60% of businesses in the Philippines do not accept online payments. This results in a loss of potential revenue. They are unable to accept online payments due to the lack of capital and technical capabilities required to implement them. I remember when my sister-in-law, who was about to give birth, got her operation delayed until the hospital received their down payment. We were deprived of essential healthcare service and suffered a life-threatening event simply because our money was remitted from abroad and the hospital couldn't accept payments online. We are targeting these 7 industries, from hospitals to real estate companies, which represents 45 billion US dollars worth of payments yearly. Currently, they have no online presence or are heavily invested in legacy infrastructures that doesn't work well with the current providers. These businesses have high ticket transactions, and the lack of online payments can result in a loss of revenue. We have built our platform to allow for flexibility and customization, lowering the barrier to entry to adopt digital payments. JazzyPay is a versatile platform that helps companies digitize, offering access to digital solutions that are low in cost and easy to use. Our web and mobile app allows businesses to accept 27 payment methods, including credit cards, online bank transfers, digital wallets, and over-the-counter cash deposits. Customers pay by scanning a QR code or simply by typing your company name in the JazzyPay app or website from anywhere in the world. Companies can also monitor their transactions through their business dashboard and receive real-time notification via text and email. They can also send out an automated invoice to streamline their billing and collection. We have signed partnerships with existing banks and e-wallet and payment processors to make JazzyPay the most versatile payments platform in the Philippines. For our business model, we take a transaction fee for every successful payment and get a subscription fee for premium value-added services such as the voucher system and digital payment valet service. These additional services drive stickiness. How do they work? Firstly, we have built a voucher system to process and sell vouchers securely. Secondly, we have a digital payment valet service that allows customers to pay a business directly even if they have not signed up for JazzyPay. There might be competition out there, but JazzyPay directly solves our customers' pain points. Existing players require security deposits of up to 10,000 US dollars with additional setup fees, monthly transaction quotas, annual fees, and highly technical integrations. The entire process is expensive and confusing, making traditional businesses forgo cashless payments. We remove the pain in putting up security deposits, application fees, API integrations, and dealing with different providers. We also ensure our businesses swiftly receive their payments. Today, we have signed exclusive 3-year contracts with 450 businesses, with another 200 in our sales pipeline. We are also targeting 1,200 hospitals and over 5,000 schools via our digital payment valley service to help us accelerate our growth. We are excited to share that despite COVID, we grew our GTV and revenue by 3 times over the last 12 months, and we expect to achieve $660 million annual GTV and over $23 million annual revenue by 2024. My co-founder Joshua and I are both second-time founders who started our first company together. We also have a strong team with over 10 years of experience leading operations, sales, product and development, and customer experience. We are raising $800,000 for our pre-Series A round. This will help us finance our continuous merchant acquisition, product development, and expansion of our go-to-market team, including the head of sales and head of marketing, to lead the acquisition of 1,000 merchants over the next 12 months and achieve over $100,000 monthly revenue. If you want to join our mission in providing underserved companies an access to digital solutions that aren't expensive and difficult, come reach out to us afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have here Joshua and Kathleen for the Q&A. Joshua and Kathleen, I bring to you your panel.
Thanks, John.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi.
There's so many fintech players in the Philippines. Can you just give us the lay of the land? Like, who do you compete with? How are you better than them?
I'll let him answer.
Yeah, sure. So basically, if you look at the fintech landscape here in the Philippines, from left to right, there are fintech players going directly towards e-commerce operators and online sellers. Simply put, JaziPay, creating online payments, bringing online payments to offline businesses. By mean of offline businesses, we mean traditional and underserved business, not necessarily a small business, but businesses that finds it difficult and challenging adapting digital payments. So we're not just providing digital payments, we're actually a holistic digital platform automating the legacy operation of these businesses. So we provide digital payments, online invoicing and vouchers, and even API and e-commerce plugin for online operators.
Okay.
So hi, Josh and Kath.
Hi, Kath.
Congrats on being married now. But anyway, I really love what you guys are doing. Parang I know our OFs are working so hard to get money into the Philippines, and they want to make sure that funding goes to the right place, right? And you have received some seed funding, I think, with our help also, no? Pero I think the whole point of this competition as well is to convince GMDitas and the NDC, no? So why this company needs to be funded by the government, by the National Development Corporation, no? So what do you see is your impact, no? In the larger fintech industry? It was raised by our judges earlier na parang ang dami ng fintech, diba? So what are you guys doing differently, and where do you see your impact going?
Sure. So well, from the beginning, despite of the government and private initiatives happening in the Philippines, we see a big segment or a big chunk of SMEs being underserved, mainly because these are traditional people, baby boomers, and doesn't really have the technical resources to create their own website, do technical API integrations, and all those middleman conversation with acquiring banks and different financial institutions is quite difficult to understand from a perspective of traditional brick and mortar business owners. So what we did is simply we created this unified, simple platform that allows businesses to facilitate all these digital payments simultaneously without thinking technically on the integration or anything about the back end of the payment. So in short, we make the complicated things much simpler to understand for this SME. So we were basically liberating this traditional and underserved businesses to go digital, not just during the pandemic but post pandemic, because even the travel agencies right now, we see people promoting local and international travels and accommodations, and we see a big boom in industry early next year and post COVID-19.
Can you imagine during the pandemic, a lot of our merchants, their POS terminal was pulled out by the banks
Yeah.
because they haven't reached the specific quota that they need to do. So imagine they're closed down and the banks are pulling the POS terminal. So when they opened up again, they have the problem of swiping credit cards. So they'd rather do online payments with us because we don't actually give them quota, and we're also there to market them, especially in our platform as well.
Yeah. You got me with the word SMEs. Because as DTI, we really need to accelerate the business solutions for our MSMEs, and I'd also like to get it in touch with you, our investment team, so that we could evaluate their business proposal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Excited to explore it.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Just to break the silence.
Yeah, I guess on my side, if would you have anything you could share on how possibly you differentiate on acquisition in terms of MSMEs? It's quite a fragmented market, very fragmented customer base. How do you tackle that?
From the foothold and the roots of these traditional businesses, they typically capitalize on relationship building. So with that being said, the sales process and the sales cycle in acquiring merchants fully online would be difficult in this traditional and underserved businesses. So we utilize referral incentives, cash referrals with our existing partners, merchants, and even payers. So basically, we use our existing 450 businesses to onboard more SMEs. And I think with the help of the right strategic partner, for example, a government would be pushing this JASIPay's payment facility for SMEs in different regions of the Philippines, would be something that we would be really excited to explore moving forward.
And imagine we have onboarded our first 100 merchants just by walking the streets of Manila, knocking on doors, just to make sure that we build relationships with our existing merchants. And from there, we have built the 450 businesses because of the referral programs as well.
Yes, and I think simply put it, while the rest of the competition are capitalizing in the online space, acquiring online sellers, e-commerce operators, well, you look at it post-pandemics, some of these online sellers might be going back to their job after the heavy layoff happened last year and during this almost 2-year lockdown, meaning that traditional and small businesses will be the king and will be the main drivers of the Philippine GDP. And we believe that we have started and laid out the fundamentals in terms of liberating the SMEs in the Philippines. And not just in the Philippines, in the future, we actually plan to move in other developing countries across Southeast Asia.
Thank you very much for that. So unfortunately, we are running out of time. So I'd like to ask the panel, are there any offers from you at this point?
I mean, I'd love to put our offer up there. I don't know if I'm quota na ha. But anyway, like Josh and Kath, I would love to be your mentor. And I'd also love to explore like looking at how we can invest in you guys, like in your subsequent fundraising rounds. So I really see the opportunity in what you're doing, and I believe in the vision that you're pursuing. So I'd love to have you on board with us.
Sure. Happy to join and collaborate with QBO and ID Space. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so there you have it. Congratulations to JazzyPay. That was an extension of an offer from Kat from QBO and Idea Space. So maraming salamat. You are our last startup for today. And okay, are we back? Okay, I think we're back. All right, so that concludes the pitching portion. And for GMDitas to decide on the winner of the SVF choice, the 100,000 peso prize that we will be giving to the SVF choice tonight. And before that, I would like to now call on Ryan Tambis regarding the SVF fund. So Ryan is NDC's consultant for SVF and is a member of the SVF investment team. As part of the SVF investment team, Ryan is responsible for sourcing and evaluating potential investments for the SVF. Ryan holds an MBA from CIBS and a BS major in management of financial institutions from DLSU Manila. Ryan?
Hi, John.
Hi, Ryan. So, Ryan, can you fund and how the allocation for investments in the startups and the VC funds are made?
Yeah, sure, John. So the Startup Venture Fund is going back. It's really created through the Innovative Startup Act. And the main goal really that we have is to develop the startup ecosystem in the Philippines. And we're trying to do this through two models. The first is investing in startups directly by co-investing alongside our accredited co-investment partners. The second model that we're doing is a fund of funds model, meaning that we will invest in venture capital firms, local venture capital firms that in turn will invest in Philippine-based startups.
Okay, very interesting. So I'd like to know, for the VCs who qualify, what kind of VCs qualify for fund of funds investment, and what is the accreditation process like?
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll talk a bit about that. So for the VCs that qualify for fund of fund investments, first of all, they need to be our accredited co-investment partner. And I'll go into more detail on that later. But I do have to stress that the VCs that we invest in have to be local VCs, meaning they mainly invest in the Philippines. And for the accreditation process, this is like our KYC or onboarding process for investors. If you go through, I think I prepared some slides. If you could go through the next. And the next one. Yeah, so here's the accreditation process, right? So we're opening applications, which is now since this is the launch of the fund. And then the investment team will evaluate these funds, right? If they're fit to be an accredited co-investment partner of the SVF. And once everything is in order, we'll endorse them to our investment committee. And then if it's approved by an investment committee, then we will endorse it to the board of the National Development Company. So there's actually two approvals that need to happen. And if it's approved by the investment committee and then the NDC board, then we'll issue them a notice of accreditation. And then again, that is our pool for which fund we will choose to invest in.
Okay, so Ryan, for the side of the startups, what kind of startups qualify for an investment?
Yeah.
And what is the process for investment in the startups?
Sure. Yeah, if we could go to the next slide, please. So some investment parameters we have for the SVF. So as per our guidelines, we can invest in startups in the seed to Series B stage. And the reason why we don't do pre-seed investment is because this is covered by another government program called the Startup Grant Fund by DOST, and I believe the ICT is launching one as well. In terms of industry, we're quite agnostic, but since this was created through the Innovative Startup Act, the main requirement for the startups is they need to be innovative or tech-based. And in terms of our co-investment, since we only co-invest, right? We can match up to 100% of our co-investment partners' investment. But we do have a maximum check size, which is about $750,000 or 37.5 million pesos. So that's mainly the investment parameters. As for the process, we do it pretty much similar to other VCs. We'll take an initial pitch meeting with a startup, and then we'll discuss among the investment team. We'll pre-screen them if they meet all the eligibility requirements. And then we'll proceed to due diligence, where we'll ask for a bunch of data so we can assess the startups. And if it passes the evaluation of the investment team, we'll endorse it to our investment committee. And then if our investment committee approves, we will start the fund release process. One thing I did miss out on saying was the allocation for the Startup Venture Fund. It's a 250 million budget for 2021, right? And the allocation between investments in startups and fund of fund investments is 60% for co-investment in startups and 40% for fund of fund investments.
You're muted, John.
Sorry, John, I can't hear you.
Sorry, let me repeat that. So for the startups who would like to work with you, what strategic value does SVF bring to startups? And also, how can interested investors and startups contact you?
That's a great question, John. So, the Startup Venture Fund being the government's venture capital fund, we can connect them with other development programs of other government agencies. For example, DTI has their Philippine Startup Development Program. I know DOST and DICT as well have their own programs. So we can help our portfolio companies, we can help them gain priority in those programs, and hopefully that will help them grow faster. And interested startups and investors that want to go through our accreditation program process can contact us at this email. If you could flash the next slide, please. Yep, svf@ndc.gov.ph. So we're excited. We're excited to finally launch this fund.
We're excited. It's been a long time coming. So many people have waited for this. This moment really jumpstarts now the fund that people have been waiting for. So thank you very much, Ryan, for sharing that.
Thank you, John.
Okay, so but before I turn you over to GM Ditas, show with the final pitch. It is our local counterpart to Shark Tank. And I'd like to invite you to watch the current season, which is our virtual edition. And I'd like to share with you the opening billboard for that.
My name is John Aguilar, and I'm a serial entrepreneur based in Manila, Philippines. I've gathered a formidable cast of business and industry leaders looking to fund and support the country's post-pandemic solutions. Dennis Anthony Uy, co-founder and CEO of Converge ICT Solutions. David Almirol Jr., founder and CEO of Multisys Technologies. Rose Ong, Senior Executive Vice President and COO of Wilcon Depot. Bernard Dean, Visionary Mayor of Kawayan City, Isabela. And Jay Villarante, Chairman and CEO of 8 Ventures. Our goal is to find and support the new breed of heroes taking on the challenges of a post-pandemic future. Many will try, but only a few will make it to the final pitch.
So I hope you get to catch the final pitch. That's every Sunday, 9 p.m. on CNN Philippines. So after this season, we are preparing for the next season. By January next year, it is going to be the final pitch season 8 Heroes edition. So we are looking for female startups and also female investor judges who will form our panel for that one. So we're looking at it with a gender lens. It is open for all female entrepreneurs and startups, and also entrepreneurs and startups who identify as women. So very interesting indeed. And I hope that we involve you in that as well. So I'd like to make a surprise announcement right now that from this top 10, we are actually going to be inviting our three, I guess, Startup Pinais this evening. So our three top 10 female startups tonight, namely Shoppertainment, OMG, and JazzyPay. We are extending an invitation for you to get an automatic slot to pitch on our 8th season this year's edition. So if you're ready, if it is something that you would like to do, we are extending an opportunity for you to pitch on that season. So that's going to be January of next year. And I hope that all of you watching here tonight will support that, because we need more support for our female entrepreneurs and also the successful CEOs, investors out there who would like to form part of our panel. We are also inviting make announcement, GM Titas, of your choice. But before we make that announcement, I'd like to know your thoughts on the SVF, and also later on your thoughts on why you picked tonight's winner, the criteria that you based your decision on.
Okay, thank you very much, John. Actually, it was really difficult for me to make the choice because, all the 10, and I'm sure those who also went for the qualification for the top 10, really had very good business propositions, and the innovation was really there. And that's one thing that I was looking at, including how we can scale these business ventures. As you know, NDC being a government investment arm, would like to really see how much we could develop through the SDF, our enterprises in the business, agriculture, in edutech, and also for MSME support. So with that, I think I'm ready to give my my SVP choice award.
Okay, so may we have the drum roll, please?
So the SVP Choice Award goes to Agro Digital. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Agro Digital PH. You are the winner of the SVF Choice for tonight. So with that, I'd like to thank you, GM Ditas, for that announcement. And I'd also like to thank
Thanks, John. I had a 1-hour speech, but I cut that very quickly. As I listened to the many sessions of Philippine Startup Week, I truly felt a sense of community with everyone who in one way or another is part of the startup ecosystem. There were 106 events, 70 partners and sponsors, and more than 13,500 signups. And you can catch any of the events that you missed on the Philippine Startup Week platform and later on YouTube. These past 5 days have been one of the most exciting times of the year with a national and even global audience. The pandemic forced changes on all of us, but we were able to pivot and make the event bigger than ever. Today, we witnessed the culminating event of the week, the launch of the first ever Philippine Startup Venture Fund, 500 million pesos over 2 years. That is a very concrete step to making startups a major industry employing thousands of Filipinos. Because of their tech and digital nature, startups can lead the economy out of the pandemic. However, in order to thrive, they need funding and support, and that underscores the importance of the Startup Fund. And I want to thank all of those who worked so hard to make this fund a reality. We have come a long way in a short time, and we could not have done it without the government's support. As Startup Week closes, I'd like to thank the men and women of DOST, DTI, DICT, NDC, and all the many people and organizations who poured their heart out into making this a success. The speakers, the panelists, the judges, the moderators, the organizers, the startups, and the people who work behind the scenes to make things happen. And of course, the QBO and Idea Space teams. Maraming salamat for a job well done. When you lay your heads on your pillows tonight for a much-deserved rest, know that you have made the Philippines a better place thanks to your labors. As we say goodbye to 2021, let us look forward to a new and even more exciting Philippine Startup Week in 2022. Join us, please, in person or virtually. Thank you all.
Well, there you have Paymaya, and 917 Ventures. I'd also like to thank the other sponsors and media partners: Adobo Magazine, Bookshelf PH, Esquire, Gadgets, Rappler, Startup Podcast, The Final Pitch, and When in Manila. Thank you to everyone who made this possible. Maraming salamat. It has been a great week here in the Philippines Startup Week 2021. We will see you in the Startup Week 2022. It will happen. It will happen. We will all be there. We will be a bigger community by then with, hopefully, dare I say, unicorns, plural, by that time. It is possible, and we are getting there. Maraming salamat. Thank you once again. This has been John Aguilar, your host. Thank you very much for being part of the Philippine startup community. We are getting there. We are getting bigger, and we are all poised to succeed. This is our time. This is the Philippines time, and we are here, ready to conquer the world. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ang Startup Pilipinas. Mabuhay tayong lahat. Have a good evening. Have a great evening.